So do you guys agree with me that dragons are gay?
Well, in traditional mythology or whatever, a dragon hoards maidens and gold, so they're not that gay.
But you saw that episode of Rick and Morty, right?
Yeah.
And if you're like the dude in the Ku Klux Klan, what are you?
Like the Grand Dragon?
Yeah, that's pretty gay. I don't know. I made that point the other night, and everyone came down hard on me. And like, I didn't feel like I could explain myself. And then I was saying that it's kind like I'm saying it like in the 8th grade sense, and I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just saying it in the sense that I meant back then. That still, when I think in my head, I say that and I have to filter it out. That's a result of our times.
I would say that dragons are, if anything, straight, but fencing is definitely gay. It's two men trying to stab each other with swords.
I got where you were coming from on that. What was throwing me was like why you were comparing it to Star Wars.
Because I was saying when they tried to make the word wizard cool, that was gay.
Okay.
It's so wizard, Annie.
Right, and everyone was like, that didn't happen in Star Wars. No one ever said that. And I was like, dude, it's a quote from Star Wars. You can look it up. And everyone was like, literally, you were there, Angry, remember?
Yeah.
And you just played dumb or something, you motherfucker.
No, it is a quote. I didn't understand why it was coming into the whole Ku Klux Klan question, though, because like that's why I was getting lost. Now that I
may or may not have been drinking at that point.
Yeah, now that you've broken it down as to like, oh, that is also a 8th grade version of ourselves gay thing to say. Like, okay, I get that. Like now I know where the comparison is.
Like the whole thing with dragons and wizards and unicorns and whatever, all these things are like 12th century penis jokes mostly.
Honestly, like if you look at the mythology behind a lot of what like these things are, and from a psychological perspective, like from Jordan Peterson talks about it a lot, like when you ignore a dragon, it grows. The dragon can take over your life, but if you give it its proper attention, it'll shrink again, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's why I like the metaphorical dragon in your life. Whatever that is, the thing that you fight against, that's what the dragon is.
That hoards the things that you can't that you would like to get, right? Like for instance, if confronting someone in your life is holding you back, that's a dragon in your life. And like the thought of confronting them is scary and you don't want to do it and you might avoid it. But at the end of that confrontation sits a pot of gold that dragon's sitting on, as in what happens when you slay the dragon. You get the pot of gold. You get the fucking thing out of the conversation that you were trying to get.
Well, maybe, but you missed out on other things because you did it.
Here's what I don't get about the whole slaying the dragon thing, right? And like, granted, a lot of times in mythology, dragons guard great treasures. No one ever collects the dragon, like the bits and pieces. I feel like that's a great money-making opportunity.
So angry.
That's the other part of slaying a dragon is you get to cut out its box that makes fire and make it into a sword, and you can fucking take some of its scales and make them into like armor and a shield and shit. And now when you fight the next dragon, you've got dragon armor.
Yeah.
So did you just watch Shang-Chi?
Yeah. Well, I watched Shang-Chi when it came out.
So there's an awful lot of dragon talk for someone that just saw Shang-Chi, I think.
I haven't seen it. There's dragons in that? That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you should definitely go watch that if you're into dragons right now.
Like, if you're into dragons and or you just like martial arts movies, like, it's a good movie.
Sounds like a good movie. I'll have to check it out. I've been watching Seinfeld all day. I don't know why.
I was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine earlier, and then I had to finally take a break because I'm like, I've been doing this since I got home at like 6:30 last night, so like I should probably stop.
For my own dragon, like I went to go slay it, and then I found out that it was just a scared little old man sitting on a pile of shit.
Yeah, sometimes dragons are a lot more scary in concept than in reality. And you never know that until you try to confront them. That's the other thing about slaying a dragon. Sometimes a dragon is a myth.
sometimes they're more powerful than you can possibly imagine, despite being an old man sitting on a pile of shit.
I don't know what that means, but okay, I'll accept that. Sometimes the old man on the shitter is powerful. He has a powerful shit to shit out.
Exactly. Like, just because, a thing looks like Yoda, judge me by my size, do you? Kind of like that. Like, sometimes dragons take many forms, and some of them aren't scary at all, and those are the ones you should be the most afraid of.
Well, I think we're a little bit too far down the rabbit hole, especially for people just joining in now, just hearing the dragon talk without context.
Yeah.
Dragons being things in your life that you need to conquer and overcome, obstacles, things you don't want to do. Perhaps it's a task that you're not keeping up with, or, whatever it is, like a vice that you continue to feed is a dragon that you're feeding and allowing to grow in your life. That's what we're saying.
If I had a dragon in my life, it's my romantic relationships. I'll never figure those out.
See, that's more of a Medusa. Because what does a beautiful woman do when you look at her? It freezes you, it terrifies you, it's terrifying. Turns you to stone. You lose your fucking thought. You lose your, you can't fucking finish your sentence. That kind of thing.
Fuck, I just ran out of nicotine. Oh well.
But I mean, what does Medusa do in the fables or whatever?
She turns to stone.
Right, but you can look at an image of her. You can look at you can see her in the magazine and it doesn't hurt you at all. But if you see her in real life, face to face.
What if I told you I was Medusa? Believe it or not.
I don't believe it. I feel like we've still lost people. This is way too philosophical. This is, supposed to be a fun night. We're supposed to have fun and drink and eat and be merry and all that shit because tomorrow the country goes to hell. But
I look at
we are also giving away a AR-15 lower tonight, so you guys can look forward to that. I'll be doing that towards the end of the chat tonight. So the way that's going to work is, Angry, I need you to come up with a question of some sort to be determined as to the subject therein. But as we did last time with the Batman question, I enjoyed the way that worked. And then if you are here live in the chat, watching right now, and eligible to receive said item, then you will be able to answer that question at that point in time and then get in contact with me through Discord where we can work out the details from there. And yeah, anyway, that's coming up.
You'll give me the topic and I just have to find the question?
Yeah. I'm not sure what topic we're going to go with yet.
Okay.
We'll find out through the course of the chat.
Yeah, Angry. We could text back and forth and determine questions too. Twice as good. Suggesting. I'm good at questions.
Yeah, I don't care. Whenever, as long as I'm here, whenever a topic gets given.
Men of Tupperware, I'm not using the randomizer. It's not how I'm doing it. You can say that 15 times and I'm going to ignore it 14 times and then address it now and say no. Daniel dropped in $2 and said, should make the question we can't Google. Make it a question we can't Google.
The thing is, you can Google pretty much every question unless it's a personal question.
Well, no, I mean, I even Googled some personal questions about my great-grandfather, and Google knew the answer to some of that shit. So, all hail Google.
Agorizer said, did someone already get my Tyranny 15 lower? No. We're doing that at the end. Back up like a minute. I just explained the whole thing. But yes, we are giving that away at the end of the chat. Mo Patriot says, why is the country going to hell tomorrow? Tomorrow, figuratively, again, not literally tomorrow, but, in the tomorrows that follow, in the short tomorrow, in the long run, tomorrow it's going to hell.
So I've been watching fucking the movie Troy over and over again because I like its depiction of Achilles. And what he says about humanity and the gods in that movie is pretty great. And the line is something like, the gods envy us because for tomorrow we might die. Where our beauty comes in the risks that we take and the lives that we live. And it's admirable. And I don't know why, but that's really stuck with me lately. It's very much in tune with what you're saying, Honda.
Well, I mean, bro, like, we'll go through some current events that I just looked at in 5 minutes on Twitter that just confirms everything that I've been thinking about all week while I'm at work, and I have no ability to look at what's going on in the world beyond, like, eat, sleep, and work more. You know what I mean? Like, that's been my life for the last couple of days. And I've hopped in a couple of chats for like 5 minutes when I had a break between shit, like twice, I think, with Matt. But I haven't talked to you guys at all in the last couple of days beyond that. And I've been dealing with fucking shit, dude. Like, nothing terrible, nothing crazy, nothing like people trying to stab me or whatever, but like super angry, insane people that are just going to yell at you and stuff and you just want to get away from, and like impatient ass motherfuckers who are all drunk who get in your face because there's a table that's taken and they can't sit there because they want you to clean it, but the people aren't done yet. And now it's your fucking fault and they hate you for the rest of the night. And every time they walk by you, they mean mug you. Yeah, like, it's a lot to deal with, bro. And I don't know how I like how things are going at work. And I don't know if I'm going to be there for that much longer if it continues in this direction. So I got to figure some shit out too, to be honest. Like, either things are going to get better or they're not. And if they're not, then I got to, like, make the move while the moving's hot, you know?
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at. I don't know if I want to take a job here that's going to be more long-term and stay here in Oklahoma, or if I want to jump ship to another state. And I have the option right now, and not everybody does. And I kind of feel like since I have the option, I might as well do it.
Daniel dropped in $2, excuse me, and said, make it a question about an old chat or something. That's an idea. That'd be hard to Google. But if it's an inside joke, dude, everyone's going to get it fucking instantly. But that would be like the people who've been watching forever who get it instantly. So maybe that's a good idea.
Yeah, but then it excludes the new viewers and shit like that.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. We want to give everyone a chance. Everybody gets a chance.
Who is the biggest asshole in the chats?
E Honda. Oh, wait.
I think it's Matt.
Dude, after what I did to Night Strike's chat the other day when I blew it up, everyone needs to go watch the end of Night Strike's chat from... Like, seriously, go back and just watch the last, like, 2 minutes. That's all you need to do. I fucking murdered everybody and left.
Man, I agree with your position that you were talking about in that, though. It's the baby boomers. They have fucked our country. We all look at our grandparents as, like, the greatest generation. In reality, they were so scared they didn't even raise their children right to where they could take over for them. And now we're the grandchildren of those fucking baby boomers just looking at the world now and going, oh, fuck, somebody better take the wheel because grandma's about to die.
I don't know. So the first time I said it, I said that the baby boomers, okay, so I said we're the Titanic is sinking, right? Like, water's coming aboard, fucking shit's happening. Like, people are freaking out now. Like, people are starting to, like, realize what's happening and, like, start to head towards lifeboats and grab loved ones and belongings and shit. Like, I think that's where we're at right now. But the analogy that I said before was that the baby boomers were the iceberg. Like, they were the thing that caused it. And I thought about it, I'm like, no, that's not exactly correct. It would be more like they're the captain.
Yeah.
And then I was like, actually, that's not even correct either. It's like they're the captain and crew. So there's part of them that were just like doing their thing and going along, who didn't really have much to do with anything, but were following orders and not, you know, like raising any alarms when shit was going down because they were ordered not to. They were complicit. All the way up to the top where they made the decisions that drove us to the point where we're at now.
My question is, what on earth did they see that caused them to make the decisions that they've made in the last 20 years? And I think that the thing with most of the American people is they'd kind of like to know that too, because there's obviously something that they're not telling us about on some level. And like, why the fuck would you have done half of the shit that you've done? Explain it to me in a rational way that, like, I don't see any way where it wasn't just purposely to sabotage the fucking ship.
I think for a lot of them, the ones who aren't like making the decisions, the ones who are just agreeing with them,
yeah,
it comes down to normalcy bias. Because if they've spent their entire life from the time they were a toddler until now at like basically the pinnacle of technology, the pinnacle of health, the pinnacle of like wealth as far as nations in the world go, the poorest people in America growing up in the 70s or 60s, you know, like a child of the 60s didn't even have to work ever. They could just go to fucking Woodstock for like 3 months or whatever it was that they were there for and not bring anything, and everything just works out because that's just how much there is. It's not like that anymore. Like, we live in a different country than they lived in today because they had that lifestyle. It's like, okay, my grandparents grew up in the Great Depression. Everything that they had, they saved, right? Like, my grandma would unfold tin foil, like aluminum foil, and like had a drawer that she would, you know, she'd clean them, she'd scrub off the aluminum foil to get whatever's off of it so that she could reuse it, because like they just didn't have shit. And then our parents, or at least my parents, grew up with the exact opposite paradigm. So they were able to just buy stuff and throw it away, and who cares, and get more, and like, oh, we'll spend all the money, we'll just get credit, and you know, I'll make more money next year and I'll be able to pay that off and it's fine. And that always worked out for them. And so that was the paradigm that they've always run under, even under fucking recessions, economic recessions, like whatever happened in, you know, like the early 80s or whatever it was, when there was the gas thing that happened. Or was that the 70s? I don't know.
The late 70s.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, I pretty much agree with you, though. I get what you're saying, because it's like, I was raised by my grandparents and grandparents, and my great-grandparents were from the Great Depression. Like, my great-grandma used to do some of that shit you're talking about, where she saved the damn aluminum foil. And, like, my grandparents and my parents would make fun of her for that. And I saw it as being kind of an admirable thing, really.
Yeah. Yeah, my parents would make fun of it, too. Like, oh, grandma's just crazy. She thinks that things are going to go, like you're not going to have enough stuff. It's like, here we are. You kept throwing shit away, not caring, and, you know, let me get it as cheap as possible and now, rather than, like, durable and long-lasting so I can buy one and have it, you know?
In reality, man, it's the fact that people like you and I hung out with our grandparents or great-grandparents so much as kids because our parents were kind of whatever. Like, we're going to be the people that fucking make it through some of this shit.
I don't know how to do shit, though, compared to, like my grandpa with woodworking. Like, he had the entire basement full of bandsaws and like vices and workbenches and, you know, everything that you need to do anything with wood or steel or any of that shit, and knew how to do everything, knew all the like weird little tricks and stuff. Yeah, and then you look at me, I can't even fucking screw a hole and drill and tap it, you know?
Honda, like, I got to the point where I'm at now with metalwork and woodwork and everything else by failing a shit ton the first time out, second time out. Like, it takes repetition and practice at some of this stuff. And like, for woodworking, if you can like cut two pieces of wood at a 45-degree angle and join them together correctly, you're ahead of the game of most people. That means you could at least build something.
I mean, I would. There's certain things I can do, but like with the level of skill that he had, like he built my oldest sister a dollhouse from scratch just by like measuring and cutting and doing stuff, and he just did it as a project and made this elaborate ass fucking dollhouse. The whole fucking door swung open and you could look in each room and everything was decorated. It was like, damn, dude, that's pretty cool. I don't know. People don't do that now. You would go to Walmart, and if your granddaughter wanted a dollhouse, you would buy a dollhouse. You wouldn't build one.
See, that's the way my great-grandfather was with wood. Like, he had a level of mastery at it that I probably won't ever have because it doesn't interest me as much as metal does. And he was the kind of person that would make the dollhouse like that. And, like, I always wanted to be that person. But in reality, I just kind of suck at making dollhouses, and I really am good at making shit out of metal. Maybe I just want to try more at woodwork.
I took a metalworking class in high school or whatever, and, like, there were things that I wasn't good at, and then things that I was. Like, the thing that I was good at was swinging a hammer and hitting a piece of, like, red metal and making it move into a different shape. and I made like an axe head, and I made a knife, and I made like something else. I forget what.
See, that's what I was always good at too. Like, it's that ability to put the hammer exactly where you want it to be that separates a good blacksmith from a bad one.
But I mean, for me, it was more like I was strong and I could hit the hammer harder than other people could, so I could continue to work the metal for longer. Because like when it's red hot, you can work it pretty easy, right? But as it starts to cool down, you got to hit it harder to get it to do anything.
So
I was able to move my stuff along quicker than other people were because I was stronger.
So what you're talking about in blacksmithing is called strike while the iron is hot. So like if you watch me work, it's in the fire, hit out of the fire, hit, back in the fire, out of the fire, hit, back in the fire. Like, I don't ever work it when it's not absolutely fucking hotter than balls.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the right thing to do, but
it depends on what you're trying to do. Like, if you're trying to make a knife, you can't get it too hot because you're not wanting to cook out all the carbon and shit. But at the same time, you need to get it hot enough to where you're not putting stresses into the blade because you're forging cold steel. So it's like this constant balancing act. It's an athletic endeavor, and that's why you would do it, I guess.
Artwork.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he had a lathe, like, he had everything, dude. And he knew how to run it all, and he could make anything he wanted to make. And we don't have the skills these days that they had back then. We certainly don't have the equipment or a basement to put it in. You know, I'm in, like, a one-bedroom apartment that I can barely afford with the way that things are looking like they're going to be going. Like, I don't know, dude. It's just shit's going crazy.
Yeah. I need to find some place to put my tools right now. I'm looking at options, and, like, I think I could probably get like something akin to a storage unit with electrical power to it that I could just work out of for a bit.
Sometimes you can rent someone, like someone will have a garage that they'll have garage space, and you can just rent out a garage.
Yeah.
Rather than doing it through like, I don't know, CubeSmart or whatever, you know?
I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but I think at least for a minute, I'm going to push it into storage and I'm going to save some money. But that's the thing with having a workshop full of tools like that is like whenever you're not using it, it's just something to tote around with you. It's a bunch of shit.
Yeah, but if you built your house from scratch like my grandpa did, you know, like that's the kind of shit that they just did back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just buy some bricks and wood, and pretty soon we'll have like a little basement room that we can sleep in while I fucking finish the rest of the house, you know? And that's just how they fucking did it.
That's kind of how I'm wanting to be.
But then the other problem is, okay, switch to now. I want to build my house in a town that I can find a job. Okay, Do you have permits? Did you pass inspection? Did you pay this fee? Did you pay that fee? Did you find this thing? Do you have that thing? Like, there's
never even matter about like the homeowners association. Like, are they going to let you build whatever you want to build?
Right. Like, I was talking to my buddy about like, how do you make a bunch of money? And he's like, here's one way. You spend $100,000 and buy like a third of an acre in Malibu, and then you file for a petition through the city to build a house. And once you get approved, you get sued by all of your neighbors. And after 8 years of legal battles with your neighbors, you build a house, and then you can sell it for, you know, a good profit.
Yeah, because in 8 years, that property's just going to shoot through the roof. Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. I have plans and dreams, but I don't even talk about them anymore.
Well, if I have like a fucking plan and I'm gonna do something, there ain't shit nobody can say to stop me.
It's just time. Like, same thing with me. Like, I have plans and stuff that I want to do, but it's putting in that little bit every day to work towards it, and I understand that it's going to take time. That's not going to happen overnight, and there's going to be setbacks, but you get knocked back 2 steps, you get back up, and you keep moving forward.
I don't know. I think a decent plan would be to find a place that you can fix up that's pretty cheap, because then you don't have to deal with all that, and you can strip it down to the bones and do whatever, or just paint it or whatever you need to do, you know, make it better for you.
Yeah.
Ideally, what I'm trying to do now is I need to wait until Starlink is a thing, because I need fucking internet. and I don't see any other thing on the horizon that would do what I needed to do for internet, other than maybe that. And then on top of that, I'm waiting to have enough funds to do the shit that I want to do.
Jack,
putting some shit in storage for now.
Jackers56 says it's because our schools don't teach tradesman skills anymore. They used to when I was in school. I mean, we had auto shop, we had wood shop, there was metal shop.
Yeah, in high school we had auto. We had, obviously you have your home ec and stuff, which that just kind of got moved into like baby class. But even when I moved to high schools, like we had a woodworking shop in high school, but my senior year, like the woodworking teacher, like she didn't let us use any of the machines. Like we literally put like popsicles and shit, like popsicle sticks together and made like houses.
See, that's
middle school we had like.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, like in middle school, like one of my favorite classes was we had woodworking, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and I fucking loved that class because the woodworking teacher was awesome. We went in, we used all the different machines. Like I made a cutting board, I made like all sorts of weird shit. Like I made carvings and shit, and like I made like a fighter jet out of wood. Like
I still think that's what's wrong with most of America is they stopped teaching that in most high schools. In my high school, they had robotics class, which was like all the shop classes rolled into one with computers thrown into. And basically for me, they just let me go do whatever the fuck I wanted to do with power tools for an hour a day. And that has come back to haunt them.
Well, I mean, like in my high school auto shop class, right? Basically, that was a pass to get off of fucking campus. So if you were in the auto shop class and you had a car that you could work on, you could be like, well, I have to go to Checker to pick up a part, and they would let you leave. So all the stoners would take the class, and we'd all just get stoned and like pop a hood and play hacky sack and listen to music out of a car for, an hour and a half or whatever it was, or an hour while the class was going on. And I learned a few things, like I changed an alternator and, this and that, like simple shit, but I couldn't take apart an engine or fix a transmission or anything,
Yeah, but that's, I mean, general auto, like high school auto class, because I like mine was the same way, right? Like it was a lot of just hanging out and like working on vehicles and stuff. And like they taught you how to do like a water pump or like an alternator, like here's how to, change your spark plugs. Like they taught you basic stuff, but they didn't really teach you like engine rebuilding, transmission rebuilding. I didn't learn that stuff until I went to college because I went to college for that shit. And I understand why, because that stuff takes so much time. Like it would be tough to do in a hour-long class or whatever like that. Even if you had it, 2 or 3 times a week, like it would be tough to do that.
What if they taught like a high school semester-long HVAC class or something, Or like, here's a high school, construction, like housing building code stuff class. So if you want to learn how to do that shit, you can take a class in it where the state's paying for it because these are state regulations and state rules and things that you're having to follow. It kind of makes sense for the fucking owner of those fucking things to be the one to like maybe teach a couple of kids for free while they're coming up while you have them anyway. But no, these days it's all about indoctrinating the kids. Like there was some quote from some teacher where she was talking about like how the babies can't do math, but at least they know who to vote for.
Do you have for your like, and I don't know if this is every state does this, but like I know when I lived in Pennsylvania, like I don't remember if it was senior year or if it was like junior, senior year, or whatever. But instead of like staying in traditional high school, you had the option to basically go to like trade school, like trade high school.
Yeah, there was like I'm a little bit older than you, so not much, but a little bit.
No, it's true.
When my school they were pushing everyone into internet. So they wanted everyone to learn how to code because if you learned how to code and you could do this stuff with a computer, you can get a computer science degree. That's going to be the people who make all the money. And I know a ton of people who like listened to that and went to college and got all the debt and paid for everything. And by the time they were done with school, they were shipping in people from India who could do the same thing for 1/3 the price. And a lot of them never even got to the point where they were making the big bucks,
I think it's interesting that when I was of that age, I got told all those same lies, and I did go to college and whatever, but while I was doing that, I also had a hobby. And my hobby was making shit out of metal. And I kind of view that as the ultimate thing. Like, if shit really got bad enough, I can recycle metal into all sorts of shit now. That's why I like the blacksmithing stuff so much.
Daniel says they still teach this stuff in developing countries, China, India, Turkey, etc. We're screwed if we ever have to build our own stuff again. I think that the learning curve could be overcome. Like, if it was like do or die, like no more imports. If you want shit, you got to build it. We're not going to end up like fucking Cuba, where they're just like turning fan parts into like your alternator or whatever, you know?
Like, hey, we got this tractor motor to put in your car because we can't get new.
Yeah. And I think if it got to that point here, you'd find out that I am not alone in the people that fucking said, yeah, whatever, and then just went and did their own shit anyway. There's a fuck ton of us that make knives, I know, and I'm sure there are other people that do like custom bikes and cars and shit like that. I think you'd be amazed at the industrial capacity of the backyards of America right now.
Well, and then the other part of it is, too, CNC milling, machining. Like, the way that it's done these days, a lot of it isn't the same skill level. It's more, can you operate the CNC milling machine that costs $100,000? Okay, then you can build, like, anything out of metal.
Yeah, but you also lose the personal touch that is the master at the hands of the mill, too. Like, there's something to that, especially at the prototyping and product development stage, where we have legitimately lost something. And I would love just to, like, pick it up and beat the world to death with it.
I don't know. I'm just saying we would find a way. It would probably make things cost a lot more in the short term, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, if everything suddenly had to be produced here and wasn't made of Chinesium for fucking pennies on the dollar of what it actually should cost, then yeah, like, things are going to be rough. But again, that's a product of the baby boomers selling us down the road so that they can get the cheap shit now. Full speed ahead. Doesn't matter if there's fucking reports of icebergs in the water ahead. We'll make it. It's fine. Because we're the boomers. We've got the normalcy bias, and everything's always going to work out.
Okay.
Yankee has the same thing going on, bro. Yankee's a fucking coal scooper or something in the fucking bowels of the ship saying, like, it's okay. We've had waves before. Not realizing that, like, impending doom is rushing into the gates around him, and the fucking things don't go high enough to stop the spillover, right? Like, again, I really like this analogy. I'll keep using it until it gets old. So what's going on, chat? Everybody out there doing okay?
Y'all doing good?
Y'all worried about the future too, or are you just like chilling right now? Didn't the price of hamburger meat go up $2 this week?
Something went up in price because fuck, like food at my local grocery store, just it seems across the board has gone up. I know gas went up like 6 cents a gallon. That was fucking fun.
Well, I know working at a restaurant. Okay, so here's one thing that they did is they got rid of paper menus. And part of the reason is, you know, like you don't have to print them, it's cheaper. But the other part of it is if prices on something go up drastically in a short amount of time, you don't have to print all new menus to make up for that price difference. You can just raise the price on the menu. And when, you know, you look at it on the online thing or whatever through your phone, it shows you the price that it's at and it doesn't cost them anything. If that makes sense. So the price on things is just creeping up and up and up and up to the point where I think a cheeseburger is like $16.
That's insane.
Man, I've noticed that like the prices here are staying the same on things, but some things quality levels just taking a complete shit on, like McDonald's. Go to McDonald's today versus McDonald's 5 years ago, I think you would be shocked. And then like Brahms is like a local thing where they own their own cows, they own their own land, and their prices haven't changed and their food quality hasn't changed. I think it's that kind of shit that's about to sort out the winners from the losers.
Yeah, I actually had the kids wanted McDonald's today, so I went and got a McDonald's and I got myself just like the $1.39 cheeseburger, which how much was it back in the day? That's a question. How much was like the cheap single cheeseburger, nothing to it. Like
they started out at a nickel.
Well, okay, but I'm saying from when we were kids, you know.
I
don't care about 1940. Like that doesn't matter to me.
I feel like I remember getting cheeseburgers for like 99 cents.
Yeah, I remember them being $1.
And there was it was a big meaty cheeseburger. It wasn't big, but it had some meat on it. You know, it was a good cheeseburger.
Yeah.
The one that I got today the meat in no place touched the edge of the bread. So in order to get like a bite of meat, I had to like rip around the entire fucking edge and just rip off a bunch of bread to get to the meat. Because I don't want to eat all that bread for nothing. You know, it's just gross. Yeah, it was like 69 cents. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it was like 69 cents.
You get Angry and I are younger than you by like 10 years, right?
Yeah, you fucking young.
Yeah, but I mean, even at my age, like I remember being like, even in college, I remember being able to go and get, because I lived off Burger King for the longest time in college, and like you could get Burger King for 99 cents. Like I could go to school with $1.25 and be like, I can eat today.
Dude, Taco Bell used to have, I think there were 30-cent tacos or 33-cent tacos.
Yeah, they're 3 for $1.
So you could get fucking like $2. You get like 5 tacos and a water, and you were good. Like now, 5 tacos is like fucking $10. Daniel dropped in $5 and said, as someone who owns a CNC-based manufacturing business, if parts stopped coming in from overseas, we couldn't run long. Also, 90% of tool steel comes from Europe.
So what I hear when I hear that is whenever CNC gets cut off from China, they're going to have to go to somebody like me or my great-grandfather that could just pretty much make anything, and man, I might have a business overnight. I think I'm not alone in that. I think there's fucking hundreds, if not thousands, of people like me. So eventually, if shit gets bad enough, they'll just fucking cowboy up and do it. My thought.
Terry Smith says, grew up poor on a farm, grew food, made everything, took diesel mechanics at Novitec. Sorry.
Okay. That's a fucking school in Claremore,
okay.
Oklahoma.
Forced to fix, not replace. I'll be fine. Yeah, and there's a lot of people out there who can do that shit, and like certain things I can do. I'm better off than a lot of people out there, and I'm looking at like the fucking masses of sheep who the only thing that they've figured out how to do is file for fucking Social Security disability or welfare or food stamps or fucking Section 8 housing, and they can wait in all the Social Security lines and know all the tricks with the people and what to say, and they're willing to wait for months and months without money while they just like fucking, I don't know, dude. I don't know how the people do that. I don't know how people do that. But there's a lot of them out there, and they don't know how to do anything except for those things and make stuff out of government cheese.
All the shit that I'm good at or know how to do, no one thinks is valuable until they don't have anyone else to turn to do it.
Blowjobs.
I figured I live in the right times because things are about to get that desperate.
Raw Feeding says, what's up, gents? Long time no see. How you doing, Mr. Raw Feeding? I think I sent you a link if you want to hop in. Not sure if I did. Hold on. Raw Feeding.
Raw Feeding.
Maybe I didn't. I can't even find your name right now. Bear with me.
Honda sits on a throne of lies.
Dude. Oh, yeah. No, I totally did. I did send you a link. I am right. I'm always right. Not always right, actually.
Sometimes.
Dropped in $5. Said, remember 5 years ago when fast food places had pretty decent $1 menu? Yeah, I do.
I do.
The dollar menu is gone.
Well, it's still there, but now everything is $1 and so many cents that basically makes
it's like
$2.
Yeah, it's like $1.30 or something, or $1.29 or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
So I remember like when the kids were little and me and my ex had first broken up, and I was not living right. I was making mistakes, and I got into a bad place financially, and I still had to watch the kids 3 days a week. And there was a point where I literally was like down to like change. Like I didn't have any money in the bank. I didn't have any dollars. I had change. So I scrimped together some change and took the kids to McDonald's and got 2 waters, a double cheeseburger, and a fry for like, it was like less than $3, right? And both the kids ate, and then they couldn't finish all the food, so I got to have a couple bites too. So we all got to eat at McDonald's. It was shitty, dude. That was a really bad time. I never want to do that again. But nowadays, like, 1 cheeseburger is like more than the double cheeseburger was back then.
Yep.
And the meat's smaller.
That's what she said.
Raw Feeding says, you probably sent me a link, but my Discord got lost when my phone crashed and I haven't logged back in. Well, if he can, you're welcome, sir. If not, it's fine too. Now it's the $2 menu. And then it'll be the $3 menu. And then the $5 menu. And then it's going to be like, oh, for a $20 bill, you can get a $1 cheeseburger. I don't know, man. I filled up my freezer already, and I've been keeping it full, but it's getting more and more expensive to keep it full at this point. Yeah. I don't want to like just start living off of that, because then by the time I have to fill it all the way back up, it's going to be so much money I can't afford it.
Yep. It's kind of where I'm at. I've been buying stuff and throwing it in the freezer, but I'm at the point and there's been a couple weeks because I still haven't got paid from the new job yet, where I'm like, I can just grab shit out of the freezer. I'm like, you know what? I'll spend the extra, I'll throw the extra stuff on the card right now and I'll rough it out because I don't want to have to replace that stuff when it's double the cost, you know?
Midget with Carrot Cake says, well, as long as people go to events, I will be okay. People need entertainment. Well, here's the thing, though. You'll be required to take a jab if you want to keep working at an event, because it's like if you work in a field somewhere, they're not going to care as much, perhaps. But if you work at an event where people are, I think that's going to be almost guaranteed fucking regulation requirement, federally done. I mean, already executive order already done for that, just not implemented yet.
Yep.
And there's already companies starting to comply with that. I was reading in Twitter earlier when I was looking at it. There was one in Colorado, like a major ski resort was requiring all employees to be vaccinated. And then I was also reading this other thing where they were talking about record numbers of fake vaccine cards being ordered by Americans and flooding into the country. I don't know, if everyone fakes it, can they bust everyone? Is it like Napster, where they're like they bust a couple of people and then everyone else gets off scot-free?
Who knows anymore?
Honda, what do you think your odds of being not the person that is made an example of? Because I think my odds would be very low if I pulled any of those shenanigans.
I don't know. It depends. It depends on the numbers that we're talking about. Because if it's like a handful of people get made examples of in front of everybody so that everyone kind of freaks out about it and gets deterred, then yeah, your odds are really low. If they're doing it to as many people as they can because they're the federal government and they want to fucking stick their dick in everybody, whether they want it or not, then yeah, I think that's going to be a problem. Dude, I was looking it up. The law that you're breaking is using an official government seal on a document.
Yeah, that's bad.
So you could have the document, but if it doesn't have the seal on it, it's fine. That's how I read it, but I'm not sure. I'm not a lawyer.
That probably is true, except for the fact that you're making a forgery of a federal document, which at some point, they're going to fucking hit somebody hard with that shit, man. That's some, like, never get out of prison again shit if they chose to fucking do it right.
Well, I think, again, like, you look at their response to the January, like, Justice for January 6th and all that shit. You guys see what's going on with that?
No.
I was going to ask, like, because that was supposed to be today, wasn't it?
So, yeah, nothing happened. Everyone was completely peaceful, as far as I understand. Everywhere, nothing happened. Nothing at all. But then the fucking DC police are in riot gear with shields in like hundreds of numbers, like fucking rolling through the streets. They're putting up barricades. Like, they're getting ready for shit, dude. And
this is why I'm saying we should all be like Conan and go sit on our mountain in the wilderness for a bit and let the fucking stupid people sort it out for a minute. Because if you're not doing that, if you're going to go out and get involved in some of this shit, it's eventually going to go bad. Like, I just personally, my choice is to sit out. Let other people protest if that's how they feel.
Well, it seems like they keep saying, like, tentatively stepping forward, right? Like, hey, let's take another little step forward and see if people freak out. And if they don't, then we'll take another little step. And it seems like the steps that they're taking are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, they're getting more confidence that they're at the point where the frog is boiled and cannot jump out of the pot, so you might as well turn up the heat on high and boil that water now. Again, I like analogies.
Yeah, we both do. We like to talk in riddles. I think we liked fucking The Hobbit too much. Plus, it's fun to talk in riddles because then, like, not everybody gets it.
Yeah. And you also don't get directly pinged by the AI, which isn't smart enough for riddles, I don't think, yet.
Ding, ding, ding.
100 people in DC, like 200 cops and MSM people. Dude, well, no one's going to go to DC after what happened, bro.
No.
If what happened on January 6th, ain't nobody in their right mind going to DC for any protest, peaceful or otherwise, if you're on a certain side of the aisle, because you know who is being persecuted by the federal government right now, and it's not the left.
I agree. It seems like we are the targets of a lot of this shit, man. Anyone who, like, remotely would ever rock the boat believes in freedom. Like,
well, it's gotten to the point where if you question the government about anything, then you're a dissident and you're anti-science and you like, sure. You know, like, you just don't want to bow to authority, I feel like. And that it's all an appeal to authority as far as the argument that they're making is, well, the experts say this and that. We did a whole gay frog chat about that. Appeal to authority and how it's not, it's a logical fallacy. And that which is presented without evidence should be dismissed without evidence. I mean, that's the saying.
There's a Johnny Cash song, God's Gonna Cut You Down. Part of it, he says something about that which can't be done in the light shouldn't be done at all, basically. And like that's a good policy for our government. If it can't stand up to me openly mocking it, then maybe it shouldn't be done.
Tara Smith says, sent Ray a pic of a quick Go rig I set up.
I don't ever check my fucking messages.
I don't think. Do you even have the ability to share it right now? Are you on a computer or on your phone?
I can't share right now. That I need to reboot my computer. It wouldn't let me share my screen or use the camera. I'm a victim of technology.
Well, send it to me, Tara. I will share it. You see Tim Pool's new Civil War video? No, I haven't. I've been, I don't know. I've been just trying to unwind today. You know, like, sometimes you got to just take a little bit of time and fucking mentally take care of yourself. And that doesn't always mean jumping headlong into all the fucking Tim Pool videos and headlines and bullshit going on in the world, because it can be a bit much. And I did spend about an hour before we hopped on here just going through Twitter and pulling a couple of things up that I wanted to, like, look at, and we'll get into that. But I figured we're still having a good conversation, so there's no reason to ruin it with violent imagery.
Man, I stopped watching Tim Pool like midway through 2020. I just couldn't take him anymore. It's because of how much of like a red pill he took and like how fucking close to the truth he was speaking. Like it just hurts to listen to him.
Well, I mean, I feel like some people have the ability to stand back and see the forest while other people can't get away from the trees.
Yeah. I think that there are a lot of those people, like, especially in our own circles, that instead of like seeing the chessboard from the positions of the pawns. They're seeing the chessboard from the person playing the game.
That's a nice little go rig. Little AR pistol.
Oh, that's nice. I dig it.
Couple extra mags. You got a knife. Sorry.
Breathe.
Jesus Christ. If I didn't mute myself, you'd all be deaf right now. Woo!
Well, thank you for muting yourself.
I almost missed it, dude. I was like coughing and my hand was shaking and I couldn't get the fucking cursor on the mute button. Bad.
We need like a real radio studio with like a big cough button. You ever seen one of those where it's like a big red button that if you hold it down, it mutes your mic for as long as you need?
So this is the Capitol Police. As far as I can tell, there's more Capitol Police than peaceful protesters.
I like how they're expecting people to riot like the left does. Why are they? Look at what they're carrying and wearing.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? That
It
can't
is.
be said. That the tactics would be different, let's say.
Oh, yes.
And people wouldn't be LARPing.
Yeah, exactly. That is some LARP level. Like, that's what I was talking about earlier, where we need a Thunderdome with Nerf baseball bats and we just let people sort out their differences. Like, that's what this is on a massive scale.
And then, meanwhile, in Australia, and they're just further down the rabbit hole. It's a little bit blurry. But those cops are like, fuck. The guy just got taken out in the middle. Holy fuck.
I think all of these countries around the world that are just a little bit ahead of us on the timetable is like, there but for the grace of God goes us.
Dude, if you fall down in front of that herd of people, every single one of them stepping on you as hard as they can as they go.
Yeah.
And by the time the last person's done stepping on you, you're probably dead. That cop's lucky to get up.
I'm big enough people trip over me, so I'm good.
They tried to arrest that guy. They got him out. Damn, dude.
I'm waiting for someone to show up with like a fossilized stingray.
Like Steve Irwin.
Yeah.
They just start throwing like box jellyfish and fucking funnel webs at people and shit.
Fucking here's a black mamba or whatever the fuck. One of the 832 venomous snakes.
I want fucking Mr. Nimbus from Rick and Morty to show up. Wait. Fuck. Flee.
And then meanwhile in California, you got a Draco. You just unloaded the whole thing. Hop back in. Peace out.
Deuces,
You robbed the wrong people.
Does that count as a mass shooting?
Probably. Is that a fucking RPG?
Yes. Watch this, dude. This is funny.
I always wanted one of those after watching Red Dawn.
Watch how he shoots it. One-handed. Straight in the air. Just why? I don't know.
Okay. They're much more impressive when you shoot them horizontally.
I always like it when they do that kind of shit and everything goes wrong and he like trips right as he's pulling the trigger and the rocket goes towards the cameraman. It's like, way to go, Jalalabad.
I love all the in the Middle East of them running around without the safety caps on.
Here's the endless stream of people coming into Texas from Mexico across the river.
All right, guys, what you're looking.
You know, that makes it seem less appealing to go down where Matt is.
Look, there's a couple people going back, I guess. And you know what they get when they get here? A Visa pay card, health care, a bus ticket, a place to live. And now they're contributing to the economy because they're people spending money into the economy. And then they come into my work and no one speaks English and no one knows what's going on and you can't fucking help anybody and it takes all your fucking time and they don't know what a tip is. So it doesn't help me out. I'm not really happy with it either. Is that a selfish way to look at it? I guess. Sorry. And then there's this. Chicago area. So they've got types of killings: unspecified, justified, vehicular, stabbing, asphyxiation, shooting, police shooting, child abuse, suspicious death, arson, or beating. Look how many of them are red. That's insane.
Where is that?
Chicago.
Oh.
I don't know. I was looking at that like, holy fuck.
And a baby cries in the ghetto. Man.
And we got Iraq veteran 8888 because he just picked 8 4 times for no reason.
I think he is the Grand Dragon, man. You're talking about dragons earlier?
No, he's a dragon for sure.
He might not be Grande Dragon, but
anyway, he was tweeting about what is the word you would use to describe a drone strike that killed 10 U.S. civilians?
Well, we killed more than that at Waco, so.
It's true. It's true, and the media coverage at the time made me think it was a good thing.
So, I kind of find the new drone strike to be somewhat irrelevant. Like, yep, they do that. Next.
Maybe we should do a conspiracy type question.
Maybe we should.
For the thing.
What is the thing in our water supply that everyone thinks is a conspiracy?
Oh, this is pretty cool. Oh, come on, get big. Oh, it's just a GIF.
What is Honda's biggest rant about conspiracy-wise? Be a good one. What is that?
That's Elon Musk shit. His rocket's taking a poop in slow-mo.
I like that he had to go up and be up in space longer than the other dude, or whatever.
Yeah, go higher.
Fuck yeah. Well, everyone was giving him shit about it, like, oh, Elon's no dur. And he's just like, all right, fuck all you then.
Watch this lady try to ride a bike. This kid fucks her up, really. What happens? Nope, not really. Actually, she just sucks.
That looks like it hurt.
Yep, that's how you do the splits, whether you want to or not. Oh, we're already to where I was last week. My caption was, okay, so this is Taliban's new hijab that they want the women to wear. And my caption was, Shire Baggins.
That's good.
Yep. Where the fuck's Matt at? He's usually here by now.
Message.
So I did order a number 3 Mark 1 because Royal Tiger had them for a good price. And then as soon as I ordered it, the price went up $50. Like, booyah. A good thing I ordered when I did. We need Elon for president if he could run. Isn't he from South Africa?
He is.
It doesn't really matter if he's president or not because the real runners of the country are now the heads of all the big corporations.
He's from South Africa.
Diplomatic immunity.
Well, I mean, there's American corporations that by themselves are bigger than like most countries on the planet, you know, as far as their economies go.
I would say that like the council of people that own all of those things that are worth more than some countries might as well be a ruling council that we have as an unelected fucking force in this country in some ways. You know, military-industrial complex, the whole Eisenhower speech, like, he was right.
Dude, do you think there's going to be a problem bringing in a bunch of people from Afghanistan?
Well,
probably.
Yeah. I mean, don't you think a couple of them might have, like, come over with some ill intent? Maybe a couple connections? That kind of thing? Like, do you think the FBI or the CIA, whoever it is, has like is tracking all of these people and knows everything about them that they need to know?
No, I don't. I think if they were that good, you and I wouldn't be free right now.
What is this? Oh, this is also people coming in from Mexico.
Oh, Mexico.
Dude, we don't have a country left. Look at this. That's what, like 5,000, 10,000 people?
Probably pretty easily. A pretty big crowd.
And there's 2 mounted police officers that, yeah, they're not tracking shit, bro. Like, if these are the numbers of people that we're bringing into the country right now. Unprecedented levels of people. As far as sheer numbers and percentages of our population. Because we've always brought in, like, what, like 1%? Not even always. Just since, like, 1960, whatever it was, when they changed the policy. Because before that, it was only a couple 100,000. And they upped it to 1 million, and they diversified the countries and did all that shit that they did, which I'm not saying it was a bad thing or whatever, but they changed it in the 60s. And that's been what we've grown up under as normal, is like 1 million to 2 million, something like that per year. It's like 1% of the population, so maybe 3 million in some years they get up to, right? But there's like, God knows how many people we just brought into the country in 2021, dude. So far. And we're not even through it yet. There's not even Border Patrol there. Texas DPS. That's Texas DPS. Dude, Texas has got to be overwhelmed with this shit. I'm surprised Matt's not talking about it more, you know, because he's like right fucking there by the border. I guess if he was a little bit closer, it'd be a little bit more prevalent for him, since he's, you know, he is still miles away from the border, so it's not like he's fucking right there. But somewhere says over 200,000 per month. A small nation every month. That's unsustainable. That is unsustainable. And the policies that the people in charge, the ones at the helm of the fucking ship right now, are doing are like pushing us further and faster into the fucking icy waves of death that lie below. Anyway. Man, I'm a fucking ball of joy tonight, aren't I? I need to drink more. I need to smoke more. All right, I don't feel any better. You guys feel better?
Man, I feel fine.
It's the end of the world as we know it.
That it is.
6 o'clock is TV hour. Don't get caught. Foreign tower. Slash and burn. Return. Listen to yourself churn. I don't know the words after that. Texas starts a special session Monday. Session will be a topic. Secession will be a topic.
Yeah.
If Texas secedes, like they vote to do that for real, I am moving to Texas. I'm telling you guys that right now.
They're not going to, though.
if they do, when Texas secedes, I will be moving to Texas. I don't know where. Probably somewhere I might have a contact. I don't know. But
you might know a guy.
I might know a guy. We'll figure it out when I get there.
That's where I'm at.
We need to test landmines along the border, says Josh Taylor. Isn't that like a violation of the Geneva Convention or some shit? Or
Yes.
yeah. Maybe, yeah. That's not a...
They frown upon that.
They should just get those, like tribal fucking poison darts that they make from frogs, you know?
There you go.
And you could just, like, shoot the people with those as they come across and, like, knock them out, and then you drive them in, like, a truck to, like, 100 miles back inside Mexico and drop them with a canteen of water.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Shit's not going great. I can't wait to get my number 1 Mark III, though. I'm happy about that.
So, if Texas did secede, you would agree with my plan to move to Texas, I take it?
If Texas secedes, shit's going down, and that's where you want to be if you believe in freedom, in my opinion.
I kind of agree.
Like, New Hampshire's talking about the same shit, though, right now. Like, they've got 10 members of their parliament who are talking about secession from the United States because of the fucking crazy shit that's going on. And they want no part of it, and I don't blame them. And the thing about New Hampshire that's pretty cool is the libertarian nature of that state that I never knew existed really until recently. And they've got the Meeseeks Caucus or whatever the fuck it's called. That's not it. It's not Meeseeks.
Oh, Mr.
Mises.
Meeseeks, look at me.
Why, Mr. Meeseeks?
Mises Caucus. The way it works is the Texas legislature would just have to vote for it, be on the general ballot in 2022. They might pass that. So it wouldn't be till 2022. That's a lot of time for the fucking federal government. Okay, like think about this with Brexit, right? Like when fucking England voted to exit the European Union or whatever the fuck. Their government was like, yeah, okay, you voted for this, we're going to do it. And then they like had another vote and tried to weigh the vote in the other way. And then we're like, okay, well, this is the vote that counts actually. And then they like subverted a whole bunch of shit and didn't actually let them do it. And like, they had their claws into everything, dude. I don't think that they're just going to let Texas go. But Texas might be the kind of place that fights for that shit and says, fuck off, get your claws off me.
If there is going to be a fight, it's going to be for Texas.
Texas just yells stranger danger.
Josh Schiller says it's only illegal in war and test spike. I can't speak. Test spike traps too. Jesus Christ.
He means punji pits. Way easier to say.
We just need like a lava moat. And
I say DARPA just releases the graboids.
Yeah, it would work.
We should just get some like fucking super hungry like piranha to swim in that river. Then anyone who tries to go across
the river that's like basically just a pond.
Yeah, well that's why they need to be ferocious.
Did you know that piranha really don't do that to people?
Yeah, no. Unless you go in with like a wound.
Yeah. Even then, most piranha are afraid of us because we're so big in the water.
Like my old man used to have piranhas, and like he'd clean the tank, like reach his hand and shit, and like I think once one tried to like go towards him, he just kind of like flicked at it and sped off. Like they're not that bad.
Now sharks with freaking laser beams on their heads.
There we go.
Story.
What we really need to do is get some of those. Did you guys see the new Jurassic Park movie? They had the trained raptors with lasers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we need like a whole like group of trained raptors, and then we can ride around with dirt bikes and like give them commands to like raptor the fucking. Never mind.
I see where you're going with this. Yeah. I see.
You can do the same thing with a group of German Shepherds.
That'd be a terrible way to go, dude. Like a bunch of German shepherds bite you to death. Yeah, a bunch of dogs bite you to death. Like that would hurt really bad, and they're not going to do it quick because they're dogs. They're not wolves.
And that is like one of the main arguments I have for having some sort of thing on your person. Like if you're going to be out there protecting your shit, right? Like you should have some sort of bladed weapon or, you know, a club or something that does not run out of bullets just for fucking dogs. For no other reason.
Tell you what, if I'm ever worried about dogs attacking, I'll carry a knife.
Not exactly what I meant, but okay.
I like the spirit.
You need an anchor baby? Haha. Would you have to go through a process to immigrate into Texas if Texas seceded before they seceded?
I would definitely be there and have a Texas driver's license before that thing goes into effect.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Or would there be like some sort of cutoff date by when you have to be out or in of Texas because of your political beliefs don't align or do align with us?
I don't know what their political beliefs are going to be.
The fucking Constitution plus some Texas shit? I don't know.
Hopefully, but like there's been a lot of people from Hollywood moving there too. But I think that's half the reason that they think they could do this is because now they have half the movie industry in Texas too. And if you have that amount of money coming in, as well as all the rest of the shit Texas did well before, like Texas is going to be the new California. It's going to have like 80 fucking electoral votes before too long. They aren't going to have the power to stop Texas from leaving if that's the case. Be interesting to see how it shakes out.
How is it not a felony to break into the country? Okay, and then an anchor baby, right? Like any other country in the world, right? If you go from North Korea to China and you have a baby, you're pregnant in North Korea and you illegally come into China and you have your baby in China, does China say, oh, well, you made it and you had a baby, so you're a citizen now? Or do they fucking put you in some kind of weird gulag jail or send you back or turn your fucking child into hamburger parts to sell to America or whatever they do?
Chinese baby hamburgers.
The Chinese chicken.
I want to eat the Chinese baby hamburgers. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a country song, huh? It just screams it.
Is that what Dave Matthews Band was talking about?
Probably. I don't even know who that is.
The Chinese chicken. I don't even know what he says. What are you saying, or you just sang it?
That's like the only part of any Dave Matthews Band song I know because
I don't even know
Dave
that.
Matthews Band sucks. Yeah, I said it. I don't regret what I just said. So
Dave was a perfectly fine name till that no talent ass clown started making music.
Fucking Michael Bolton.
Dustin Butt said, got bit in the face by a pit bull once. Jesus Christ. Wouldn't recommend it. It felt like the hardest pinch ever, but with a lot of blood from my rip. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, bro.
I got my ear pierced by my pit bull once, but that's because I was playing with her and wasn't paying attention, and her toy was right by my ear, and I decided to move it. And
I found that when they attack you, you grab them by the throat, just pick them up off the ground, let them fight it out for a minute, and then eventually they calm down. You can sit them down again.
Oh, that's Bare Naked Ladies. Not. I thought that was Dave Matthews Band. Whatever. It's been a long time.
Whatever. They all suck.
Yeah.
Matthias is like, it's not Matthews or Matthias.
Again, couldn't. Bare Naked Ladies, same shit. Like, couldn't give a fuck.
Smash Mouth, Bare Naked Ladies, fucking whoever that
was. Smash Mouth, I'll fuck with Smash Mouth.
I do like Smash Mouth too.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm like a big grunge rock kid. I like fucking punk. I like some rap. I like some fucking like heavy metal old school shit. And some new stuff. Honestly, admittedly, I listen to the radio when I'm driving in my car, and there's occasionally like new music that comes out that I like. But the vast majority of anything new is just fucking corporate produced bullshit that's meant to fucking sell something or whatever. I don't know what it is.
I have this image of Honda coming home from work, rocking out to "Love You Like a Love Song, Baby."
I actually, okay, this might sound like the gayest thing you'll hear all night. I like Billie Eilish.
She is good. I like her.
She has some
that
good
may
music.
have been the softest thing you've ever said.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. I don't care. She makes actual fucking music is why. The thing, it's like Janis Joplin when you hear her sing, dude. You can hear the fucking heart behind what she's fucking saying. It's not just like, oh, I'm just singing the notes perfectly because I look pretty doing it, don't I? That's the fucking shit that I'm sick of. Billie Eilish isn't about that, and that's why I like her.
I'm gonna be honest. I know who Billie Eilish is. I don't know if I know a single one of her songs. Like, if you played some of them, I might be like, oh yeah, I've heard that song. But to ask me, like, name a Billie Eilish song, yeah, that's not gonna happen, Chief.
Billie Eilish is not Wizard.
Not very wizard of you, Andy.
Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Annie, are you wizard? Are you wizard, Annie?
Daniel says, needs to be punishable with forced labor, then deportation. Dude, the way it works now, that like, if you get deported, it's not because you crossed the border illegally. It's because you cross the border illegally and then do some other crazy shit that you get in trouble for. Like, try to do that in Mexico. Cross the border illegally into Mexico and do some crazy illegal shit while you're there and see how things go. Do they just send you back to America?
Well, it depends how much money you have. If you can pay them off.
Well, then you're not really in trouble, are you?
It's the way the law works everywhere. You have enough money, it doesn't apply to you.
Dick goes and he says, what do you think about this? Let's troll the infringers by convincing them that the chainsaw bayonets are a real thing so we can laugh at them when they try to ban them.
There is a chainsaw bayonet, though.
Yeah, but it's not like if they banned it, you'd be like, oh no, they're infringing on my rights. Be like,
Yeah.
Kind of like, I mean, I know it's bad to say, but that's how the bump stock thing was to me. Because I didn't have one, I didn't care about them, I didn't think they were useful, I didn't think they were cool, I thought it was a waste of ammo. Like, there was nothing that I thought was appealing or useful about them. And so when they banned them, I'm like, well, so what, you know? But, again, that's defeatist thinking. That's in a book I read once. What losers say. Look up Vivos and Point, South Dakota, and Vivos, Indiana underground bunkers. You can get started around $40,000. Huh. Yeah, but then you got to like live in the middle of nowhere. Unless you have a way to like make money in the middle of nowhere, you know.
That's my goal now. Long term is wherever I build my cabin, there's going to be enough woods attached to it that I can make money off of that.
Dustin Butt says, Billy isn't my cup of tea, but I agree with you. I like Gaga and Pink.
Lady Gaga and Pink are both awesome. Some of my favorite music.
And they all kind of tell real story versus teen fantasy like a lot of them do now. Yeah, dude. I don't know. Like, go back to like Britney Spears, right? There was nothing that Britney Spears ever did that I liked. There was not one song that Britney Spears ever sung that I was like, wow, that was amazing or good, or like, she's really talented. Or like, that was... Like, I can't believe, like, she's making me feel this emotion through the song that she's singing right now. Never happened once. Not even close to once. Billie Eilish? Dude, fucking... Damn, bro. Like, she touched a fucking chord on me one night.
Have you heard Adele?
Yeah.
I like Adele. I'm hearing very soft Western music.
Nah, it's probably my game.
We need a video of Night Strike with a blue dress doing a chainsaw bayonet charge. That will definitely get the bayonet.
Oh my god! Yeah,
hilarious.
How much does a chainsaw bayonet cost? I mean, I know it's not like a real thing, but you can still buy them, right? Does anyone know?
I don't know.
Ballpark?
I have no idea.
I never looked into them. I like my bayonets to be mechanical and not electrical. Whatever.
Yeah, it is electric too. It's not like you fucking have a ripcord that you pull on and fucking start revving that bitch up before you bayonet charge. That'd be
if you were going to have a gas-powered chainsaw as a bayonet, I think the only appropriate weapon to have with that is a side-by-side shotgun.
I don't know if any of that's appropriate, but I'll go with it.
Very appropriate. It's Ash versus Evil Dead, man.
Oh, yeah, okay, there we go.
You should figure out a way to attach the chainsaw to your double barrel.
Jesus Christ carried a sword.
Yeah.
What's the modern day version of a sword?
Pistol.
What does Christian mean?
Christ-like.
So what should you do?
You should carry a pistol.
Thank you. That was great logic. Thank you. I'm glad that you followed that and I didn't have to fucking walk anyone through it.
Yeah, I pick up pretty quick on things.
Oh, Josh Taylor. Oh. Nickelback wrote some good songs with some actually good lyrics with good meaning behind them.
Yeah, but then they also beat us to death with them for about how many years?
I mean, I never looked at that photograph the same way, so.
So do you think that Jesus was teaching people to fight with that sword?
So there's the saying in the Bible is, the meek shall inherit the earth.
But fortune favors the bold.
However, they might have mistranslated it. And Jordan Peterson was talking about this specific line, and he said that basically the closest thing that you can come to an actual translation is, those who have swords and know how to use them, but keep them sheathed, shall inherit the earth.
That makes a lot more sense. Well, like, we find ourselves really at a very similar point in time as Jesus. When he entered into the story of the Roman Empire, they were at the point where we are now, where, like, we have an emperor, and we don't even know who that emperor is right now. And if Jesus was teaching that message, that's essentially what, like, we talk about here almost every night.
Yep. Jesus was a libertarian. That's what I think. And he did say this, too, as Travis T. points out. Sell your cloak and buy a sword. If you do not have a sword, sell your cloak and buy one. Old Testament was basically eye for an eye. New Testament turns the other cheek. Oh, here's another interesting thing about turning the other cheek, right? So, in the old days, in Roman times, people didn't use toilet paper. You know what you used to wipe your ass with? Your left hand. So if someone slapped you and you turn the other cheek and they slap you with the other hand, they're slapping you with their poop hand, which was illegal. Dustin Butt says, not to extain, but the, what is that?
Havamal. There is a verse about never being unarmed. I'm pretty sure that is some sort of word in Jewish for a portion of the Bible, but I don't remember which one it is.
Granted, they meant a spear, axe, sword, but I think it's still a good idea. Good idea still. Yeah, I mean, honestly, think about how many different people wouldn't be here today if they didn't believe in the right to self-defense and the right to protecting yourself and self-determination. I mean, look what happened to the Inca when the Spaniards came over. They believed them to be gods. They put their faith in the gods to save them or slay them or whatever it was. They were already used to fucking mass fucking death rituals in which people would take like ayahuasca or whatever fucking crazy drug it was and then have their heart dug out by a priest in front of like cheering crowds of people. And what was that game that they would play where they try to kick the ball through the fucking hole? and the winner of the game all got sacrificed. Like, all that shit was like what they were used to, and when people came in to conquer them, they had no fucking defense against it. Because they didn't believe in the right to self-determination. They didn't believe in the right to self-defense. They believed that God was the state and bigger than them, and whatever that determined they should go along with. I mean, and that's exampled in multiple different ways over generations and different fucking cultures over the history of mankind.
I think there's a book/documentary you would find interesting called Guns, Germs, and Steel. And it's written by a cultural anthropologist. It's basically an in-depth look at what happened when the Spanish encountered the Mesoamericans. It's pretty good. I forget the guy's name. I'm searching now. Jared Diamond. Jared Diamond. It's a book by him. It's a scholarly work, but like they made a documentary of it that is pretty good. I'd recommend.
Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's. He meant give them their coins back to them because you don't need them. Maybe that's what we should do with our dollars. Just stop using them to, like, trade everything we can for dollars right now and then figure something else out as fucking median.
I think that means many things. And, like, render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's is like anything that you have that they gave you is just a way for them to control you. Whether that's your cell phone, the internet, the money, all of this shit. Like, in reality, we need to fucking have like an off-grid cabin connected to the dark net or some shit. Apparently. That's where I'm kind of sitting. And I don't know how the fuck to do all of that.
Havmel is part of the poetic Edo Norse mythology that is the words of Odin,
okay,
or less. Zaitian Christian, I don't call them Jew ever again. Don't call me a Jew ever again.
Well, it legitimately does sound like a Jewish word. So, there you go.
Jesus. Colorado and Texas both recognize gold as legal tender. Well, Colorado only because they used to mine a lot of it here. There's the Colorado gold rush that happened, I think it was after the rush in 1849. That was the 49ers in California. And they found it in actually the creek that runs behind my apartment. They found gold in that shit. And then everyone moved to fucking Denver and then up into the mountains, and they didn't find much gold ever, and a whole bunch of people fucking starved to death, and shit happened. And yeah, there's a lot of history behind that.
You know what they did find in Colorado, though?
Coal.
A shit ton of silver.
Yeah, they found silverthorn for sure, but then that was only propped up because the government kept buying silver to mint it, and then they stopped doing that at a point, and the fucking towns like Silverthorne died, and then were reborn as like mountain fucking resort towns.
Yep.
It's still cool, though, because if you drive up I-70 or certain parts of the highway system through the mountains, and you aren't driving, you get to ride in the car, so you can actually look around, you'll see a fucking 100 mines. 100 old mines that haven't been used, and you wouldn't want to go into it, and you'd probably fucking die if you fucking did, you know, kind of thing. But it's cool. It's cool old history. But that's about as old as the history in Colorado. I mean, there were people here before that, obviously, but history doesn't really go that far back in Colorado compared to other places. We don't have, like, buildings from 1400 or some shit like fucking England or Europe.
Not that you know of.
That's true. I thought they found marijuana, says Daniel. Okay, so let's do a giveaway here, huh? Hey?
What?
What should the subject of the question that Angry must look up the answer to so that he can ask the chat so that we can pick a winner so that I can... Okay, let me go through the story of this thing real quick before I do this. Biden got on TV and said something about how if you wanted to fight against the federal government, you better have AR-15s aren't going to do it. You need F-15s and nukes. And like everyone freaked out about it. And then Palmetto State Armory decided that they were going to come up with a lower that had that on the side of it, and like the fucking serial number on it starts with T Jefferson. Like, it's kind of cool, like little things that they did with it, right? And I bought it pre-order because at the time I was like, oh, that's cool, I want to have it. And then I started looking at all the parts and stuff and how much more it would cost to build out the entire gun and how many AR-15s I already have, and I kind of realized I don't really need this lower. So I decided to give it away. So last week we did the giveaway, and I found, well, I fucked up the giveaway is what happened. I picked the wrong winner for the person who won, and then told the wrong winner that they had won, and got them all fucking hyped up to win, and then realized that they didn't win, and then got in contact with the real winner, and I was like, yo, man, can I just send you a gift card and I'll give the lower to the other guy because I thought that he won, but he didn't? And he was like, yeah, totally cool. So I got him a $100 gift card to Palmetto so that he can get a lower or parts or whatever he wants to get from Palmetto. And it's better than a lower, really, because it's like a lower and money left over, right? So he's happy. And then I got in contact with Leonardo Vu, was the guy who I thought won. And he was like, he's kind of the same boat I am. Like, I don't know what I do with the lower. I already have AR-15s. I don't need it. Like, please give it to someone else. So we're going to try to give it away to a third person now. The lower that nobody wanted. So I don't know. What's a good area of subject of something to ask a question about?
I'm throwing in a suggestion question in the side chat here. I figure keep it relevant to the lower.
All right, fine. That's fine. That'll work. Let's get to these super chats real quick, and then we'll do that. Daniel says, 42, I win. Josh Schiller says, why? So you can screw it up again? I'm not going to screw it up this time.
Oh.
God damn it, Josh. Just chill out, everybody. Well, what happened last time was as soon as I said go, I accidentally hit a button, and it kicked me out of the chat. And then I got back in the chat, but like by the time I did, the fucking chat messages were all fucking screwed up. And so I thought I picked the name that was highest up on the list of as far as people who answered correctly, and I was not correct. I was just joking about the Jew thing. On my dad's side, we're German and Finn, so might be some Jew in there. I have the smallest nose of all of us. All right, so again, the way this is going to work is the first person to come up with the correct answer is going to be the winner. In order to answer it, you must be able to receive the lower through an FFL and pass the background check. Scout's honor on that one. So if you're not able to receive it, please don't answer, especially not correctly, because I'm going to have to give this shit away a fourth time, and I really don't want to have to do that. So could we just please Scout's honor that shit? And all that being said, Angry.
Oh, you want me to ask the question?
Go ahead, sir.
Hold up. What the fuck did I put in the side chat here?
You have the answer already, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I see it. Okay.
Okay. So the question is, in what U.S. city is the only nuclear weapons assembly/disassembly plant located?
Do 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 bom bom. Me 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 me. Am I gonna keep doing that? Oh, what was the answer again? Hold on. It was okay. I don't see it yet. Not state, city.
Knowing the state helps you know the city.
That is true.
Oh, I think I see it. Okay. Here we go. All the way back up to the top. We have a winner. Do I see anyone above this? I do not. J Bean. J Bean is the winner. Mr. J Bean, the link for the Discord, if you're not already part of it, is in the description below. Go ahead and join that if you have not. Send me a message saying, hey, this is J Bean, and I am the winner. I mean, I guess anyone can do that at this point. Shit. You better hurry up, J Bean, and do that. Otherwise, I might send it to someone else. Anyway, get a hold of me there, and we'll get in contact, and I'll figure out which FFL and all that stuff to send it to, and we'll get it out to you, bro. Congratulations. Send it to me in Amarillo. Is that why you knew so quickly? I bet that's exactly why he knew so quickly. That's fucking hilarious. Should have figured someone out there was in the city that's happening in. Travis says, hey, what's up, Travis? Travis, do you want a link? Hop your ass in here. You're awake. Hold on. Let me get Gmail pulled up here. I think that's how I contact Travis usually. Compose. Travis. Link. Nope, that's not a link. This is a link. Call that a knife. This is a knife. I sent you a link if you're able to join. If not, no big deal. What does GAW stand for? Gear something winner?
Giveaway?
Give away. GAW?
Yeah.
Oh.
Why isn't Travis in here?
I don't know. I just sent him a link if you're able to. I don't know. Travis isn't really part of the Discord usually. At least I don't see him on there very often. And I don't think that I remember to send him links through Discord normally, to be honest. That's probably my fault. I need to send out more olive branches than crashing Night Strikes chats and wrecking ball the whole thing. I don't know. You ever get spicy? You ever just get in a spicy mood and someone rubs you the wrong way and you're just like, all right, motherfucker, like, I'll rub you back, you know? Hey, Mr. P11, how do you do, sir?
Hey, doing all right, man. How's it going?
Good, good.
Yeah.
You did a chat early this morning, didn't you?
Yeah, it's been a long day, dude. Yeah.
Because I saw the link for it this morning, but I don't wake up like on Saturday morning till probably 10 or 11 my time.
Dude, I sent out about 40 invites. I'm happy to have 2 show up, so don't worry about it. It's not a popular time slot with most people. So, no, man, that's cool. I just messing around here. Just got done playing some Destiny on the Xbox, and I usually tune into you guys before I go to bed, so I thought I'd see what you guys were chatting about. So, on the Discord, I don't have it on my phone. Like, I've got the app on there, but I only jump on if we're going to do some gaming or chat about something specific. So I hardly ever check it. I mean, I just, you know.
Yeah, like, honestly, it's the easiest way to send out links without having to put as much effort into it. I should probably put more effort into it and use email and other methods to send out links to people and get more people in the chats, but I'm just lazy is my problem.
Well, I just go to my sent box and I go check out the last Caliber Corner invite and I just copy the whole address and just copy and paste it in the to box or whatever. So it takes like 2 seconds.
Yeah, but then you end up sending links to people who are never going to show up again, like 50 times.
Yeah, no, I know. I really need to thin mine down because it's got there's about 40. And I mean, I've had maybe 5 or 10. You know, you guys will get them, but there's still a few people I haven't heard from in like 2 or 3 years. So,
well, and if I look back on the contacts that I've sent links to through Discord, there's probably like 50 people who've been on the chat now, you know.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Just that's most cool. Of them they'll show up once and they get scared, or they show up once and they don't talk, or I don't know, whatever it is, and they don't come back.
Well, you guys are pretty scary on this chat. It's pretty intimidating, you know. I mean, you really gotta know your stuff if you're gonna hang out with this crew. So yeah.
I mean, that's the nicest way anyone's ever called me an asshole before. Thanks, Travis.
Yeah. No, dude, I'm just being sarcastic. No, you guys are chill, man.
No, so am I. So am I. That was funny.
Right,
I was trying to be funny.
But dude, calm down, man.
I mean, Honda is very intimidating.
Blow my mind every time you talk about it. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You're probably right. Calming down would help things a lot, but sometimes the fire inside of you needs to escape somehow, and sometimes you do that on someone else's chat, then you feel bad about it. Sorry, Night Strike.
It was funny.
You were there for that, weren't you, Travis?
Just last Thursday when you guys showed up, or which one?
Yeah, last Thursday.
I mean, you do it like weekly now, so I just kind of expect it. I just, usually Angry's the first one to show up, and then you follow, and then the rest of the entourage rolls up. So
we haven't been doing it weekly. I think we've done it like 3 or 4 times ever, to be honest.
Okay. That's all right, man. We had last time you guys came on, we had a hell of a discussion, so it was worth it.
Yeah. Most of the time, I like to just let Night Strike go run his own thing and not jump in and
take on Night Strike. If he wants to swap with me, then that would probably alleviate that problem.
It probably would, actually,
because you guys that are out west a little bit. I know. Ray, you're not, but I mean, everybody else. That's the next time zone up. That's an hour sooner. So yeah.
I don't see why you just don't do your chat whenever it's good for you. And I mean, like, I'm not saying like intentionally like cork somebody because you're trying to, or whatever.
Hey, I gotta be honest. I do stuff with my family, and being done at 9 or 9:30, I got the weekend after that, and I don't like to go on late because I mean I got my grandparents 30 miles away, and my parents are an hour away. I go to the range and film usually on Saturdays after Caliber Corner because that's about the only day I can. Because on Sunday I'm usually busy doing schoolwork or hanging out with family and chilling. So it's a good time slot because I can do the show, but then just have the rest of the day to enjoy, or jump on somebody else's chat.
Damn, bro, you go shooting once a week?
I've been going, pretty much consistently. If you look at all the videos I put out, those are just about every Saturday I go out there. I went out there today, but unfortunately fortunately they were repairing the range and cleaning it and stuff, and I got out there about 11:30, and I had a revolver I was going to play around with, and so I ended up coming back, and I just went ahead and made my Olight video for this week. They're going to be doing a really cool sale coming up on Thursday, I think. So they sent me 3 flashlights. So I did a triple review on them. Did all 3 of them in one video, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, Travis, you're Mr. Review, man. That's pretty cool that you've been keeping up with that for so long. Like a lot of people fall out of doing that kind of thing because it gets tedious or whatever, I'm
always doing different stuff though. And then I got my B channel. If I get kind of bored, I can go over there and do my coffee stuff or my tech stuff. So I kind of keep that around just for some interest on the side. But Olight only sends me lights maybe once every 3 months. There's guys that get them every single month on their little campaigns that they do. I might be once every 6 months. In fact, I hadn't heard from them for over a year before they got in contact with me again about 6 months ago.
What's
that?
It's because you gave them a bad review, though.
No, I don't move as much volume as some of the other channels. Some of these other guys, like the smaller channels, they'll be like me. They'll get one light, and then that'll be the one we review, but then they'll send like 3 or 4 to the other channels at the same time. So I think it kind of depends on how much you move for them in terms of just your sales. And I might move I'll get like 200 or 300 views on my video, and then probably maybe have 2 or 3 that people actually buy with my link. So I mean, I just do them for fun. I actually enjoy doing those because of all the shit that I do to the lights when I'm testing them and stuff. And I've only broken one so far out of all the lights that I've had. All the flashlight tests is just that one. But
I just can't abide spending Olight money for a flashlight. I know it's for if it's guaranteed for life and you can always get it repaired if there's a problem and yada yada yada. Okay, it kind of makes sense. But Jesus, man, they're like $230 or more for some of them.
No, the really nice one that I'm showing off, they start at $15, I think. And then hell, even Surefire started I think $20 if you want to get an actual Surefire like a pen light. And one of the ones that I'm testing, I think it's a $15 light, and that little sucker puts out 150 lumens, and it lights up. I was out back in the field in back of my apartments over here filming in the dark, and it did an amazing amount of light. I mean, the differences you get, and I'm not just going to say about Olight, what I've discovered about lights in general, which ironically was our topic this morning, you get better quality switchgear when you buy a more expensive light. The buttons are usually better, so they function better. The batteries are probably going to last a little bit longer because the companies have their own batteries made for them, or they make their own. I mean, they just tend to hold up longer. And then like the quality of the lens and the beam. Now, I mean, with that being said, I've got a $24 light that's not even an O-light. That's my EDC that I use. But any of the O-lights I've ever tested have been pretty stout. I mean, except for the one that I broke. But
shit, maybe the gun shop or whatever is just ripping people the fuck off, because I swear that was this one, and they had it for like $200 and something. It was like $220.
Well, you got to catch them when they go on sale, because they will literally mark their prices down like 40-50%, and you'll get them for like half the price. And then when the sale's done, they go back up to normal price. So the one that's coming up, the Seeker 3, that one is, I think it's $90 is what it costs. Sucker, it puts out 4,200 lumens. I lit up this field in back of my house. Like, it's like the size of a football field, and it just freaking threw this massive beam. I was like, holy crap. Grant only does that for 15 minutes, but most of the lights, I mean, they meet the battery life that's on the package and stuff. So, yeah.
All right. Look at this thing, dude. Holy fuck.
Yeah, some of these are just giant. Yeah.
Just duct tape that on the end of your AK.
The Seeker 3 that I'm testing is pretty cool. The 2 is the one that broke, and part of the problem with the 2 and the 3, I mean, I didn't break the 3, but there's a lot going on where the button is. There's like a little dial. There's like little LED lights in it. And I think if you break any of those wires in that thing by dropping it, it just renders it useless. But I just try to keep it simple with my flashlights.
Yeah. Savage dropped in $5. Says, you going to try hunting this year, or are you going to hold off, or are you holding off for another time? If I could find someone to show me the ropes, be like, here's what you need, here's what you do, here's where you go, here's what you get, here's how you do it, then I would do it this year. But I don't think I'm going to figure it out. I don't even know when hunting season is, to be honest.
If you don't mind getting out of state, you could get a hold of Sandhills, and he might take you up to his area. He's got a beautiful, friggin' amazing area up in north central Nebraska. You'd be guaranteed to get one. And hey, if you come through, I could give you my 308 with ammo. You'd be all set to go. You wouldn't have to take a rifle.
Well, I don't have a hunting rifle per se.
Yeah.
But I have things that I could hunt with, you know.
Well, you're gonna want good optics, and at least something you could pick up. You know, you could shoot a 4-inch group with that, probably 250 yards.
The rifle that I've hunted the most with is the rifle you just bought, Honda, Lee Enfield. I used to hunt with that every fucking season.
Were you doing about 50 to 100 yard shots? Is that?
No, like we were mostly in like the 100 to 200 yard range that we would shoot stuff in, but like we were also going through thick brush and shit. So
yeah,
like I shot a deer at 25 yards once.
Yeah. Well, you get that here in Nebraska, and you go down by the river where, I mean, that's they're either going to be there, or they're going to be in areas where they can find water out on the prairie, or they have some kind of cover.
Yeah.
Generally, tree lines is where you're going to see a lot of your whitetail. Then the mule deer are usually out in like the remote prairie areas where you got a lot of hills and shit.
I personally just really like the iron sights on that rifle he bought, the number 1 Mark III.
Yeah.
I don't know why this guy Flair. I just found a random video that he did, and he just does like weird fucking hunting videos, and sometimes they'll like buy a bunch of wild birds that are like, and then release them and hunt them. Or like, I don't know, dude, this guy's fucking crazy, bro. Yeah, I'm like, I want to hang out with this dude. Like,
we bought these doves from a wedding supply store, and now we're gonna do some target practice on them.
No, like they were I forget what they were.
Pheasants or something?
Yeah, they were pheasants or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And they bought like 50 pheasants, and then they released them, and they waited for like an hour, and then they brought the dog out and like had him scare out the pheasants. And yeah, I was just like, Jesus,
that's awesome, man. That is a lot of fun to do. That is. Weather can be kind of crappy, but it's exciting to do that, especially when you got the dog with you and he points and stuff. And yeah.
Daniel says, just don't put an O-light in your mouth. I don't understand.
I don't know, maybe because they use lead-based paint or something.
They explode.
Do they? Oh.
I don't know.
No, they usually have pretty stable batteries.
Okay, that's the only thing I could think of.
I've used them out here and all different, everything from plus 100 degree plus down to freezing. So I mean, I've got. I mean, I got a Streamlight's my main bedside gun light, and then I've got the latest Olight that I reviewed, the pistol light. I've got that one on the wall through PDP. And then I've got a PL Mini 2 Valkyrie, but they've all been testers that have been sent to me. Well, the Streamlight I bought myself, but.
So yeah, I'm not like a huge flashlight guy either. Like I've got 2 flashlights. They both work fine. I've got extra batteries for them. Like if one breaks, I've still got one, like it's not like a huge thing for me, I guess.
No, I don't go collecting them either. I mean, I don't, I've got, a couple weapons mounted ones, and I've got one in the car, one in the drawer. And then honestly, I usually give mine away in giveaways after a couple months. Or if I got a family member that could use it for the job, or, I sent one to Squib. I gave one to my stepdad, one to my dad.
Wow, Dustin Butts dropped in $5. Said, "Hey Honda, we have land we hunt on and need an extra guy if you want to come to northern Minnesota. My dad has extra rifles, or you can use 5-round AR mags." Huh.
I want to go hunting
somewhere. That sounds really fun. I don't know about, I would feel like I would be imposing coming to be like, "Hey, dude who watches YouTube that watches my stuff, who's probably pretty cool, and his family, thanks for putting me up for 3 days and helping me kill a deer and skin it and shit," or whatever you do. I would just feel like I'm putting you out, is what I'm saying.
I mean, if the families do it as a tradition, maybe they bring guests along with them every year they go. I mean, Sandhills was awesome when he accommodated me up there. When I went to his place and his family's place, their ranch up there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's something that I feel like I would need someone to kind of walk me through at least the first time.
Oh yeah.
And to be honest, I would like to have someone in my area do it. That way, I can do it again in my area and know where to go in my area. But a trip to fucking Minnesota would be cool. What are you talking about here, Daniel?
One exploded a year ago and killed.
Oh, he's talking about putting the Olight in your mouth.
Ah, okay.
So an Olight exploded and killed a guy? Are you for real?
A defective battery or something like that, maybe. I mean, these lithium. I've had lithium batteries swell up before, and stuff that gets old, like old devices and stuff. They are pretty volatile. They can be.
I had an iPhone 3 or some shit like that exploded in my pocket slowly. Pretty cool.
Yeah, those batteries are super flammable, and as they get older, they can start to decompose, and they fill up with gas and can blow up.
So what I need is quality socks, boots, rifle, knife, and either camo or drab colors.
Honda, when he says quality socks and boots, you need a little bit more than that, because that's not like construction boots or cowboy boots.
You go to insulate. Yeah.
I've got hike boots.
Yeah.
I would go spend $150 to $200 on a nice pair of boots that had insulate and large supports and shit in them.
I've got badass REI $200 hiking boots.
There you go. Well, do they have any insulation in them at all or not?
Yeah.
Because when you're sitting there and it's 17 degrees or 15 degrees and you don't move, you sit there for 3 hours or something. Now, if you come to Nebraska, you'll fill your tag out in just a couple hours because we have deer everywhere. But that's one good thing about it.
Dude, I wish that, there's this neighborhood that I grew up in that you can't hunt deer in because there's houses everywhere. It's just physically you shouldn't, it's just not a good idea to do it, and also illegal and all that.
Estes Park, yeah.
But there are so many deer there that if you could, because people just feed them. They just put feed in the backyard and the deer come by and
oh my god,
yeah,
really?
They're just fucking everywhere, dude.
They probably eat people's plants in their yards and stuff. Their grass. That's crazy. So anyway, I know they had that problem with elk up in Estes Park, Colorado, too.
Well, in Estes Park, what happens is the males start their rut, and then they come into town, and they'll come into a china shop or a fucking antique shop. This literally happened. And just start freaking out and breaking shit, and the fucking people have to come by and trank them because they don't want to shoot them in front of all the liberals.
Yeah. Well, I had heard that to keep the population low, they had game and parks that would come in overnight, and they would take them out with suppressors to kind of thin out the population while people were sleeping.
It's funny how they can come out and hunt at night with suppressors, but if you tried to do
night vision and shit,
like they can do the funnest shit possible, but only through the power of the monopoly of the state do they have that.
Yeah.
Have you ever gutted anything?
Fish.
Okay.
It's not.
It's a lot like that, but a lot more labor intensive.
Well, it depends on how you zip it. I mean, it doesn't have to be. It's just kind of getting that diaphragm out. It's a bit of a pain in the butt, but
yeah.
I mean, that shit doesn't bother me. Like, the thing that bothers me is smell. Like, I can touch guts and blood and stuff. That doesn't bother me one bit. It's if I, like, cut into his intestines and, like, deer poop squirted on me and it smelled bad, then I might lose it.
Why you don't do that?
Yeah.
Anyways, Savage finished by saying, just get out there and find where the critters are, go slow, walk into the wind, bring help for elk. What does an elk weigh? Like 1,000 pounds?
Somewhere around in there. Like 1,000 to 2,000 or some shit. Like they're huge. Moose are like 2,000 or 3,000 pounds, if I remember right.
I was thinking elk are more along the lines of like maybe 400 or so. Well, it kind of depends on where you are because deer can vary a lot in size depending on what they get fed and what they eat.
But like
ones up here are freaking huge.
Elk are huge. Like they're 1,000 pounds, I thought.
700 pounds for a male elk.
Ooh. We were close.
500 for a female.
Everything I've ever hunted was whitetail deer or mule deer.
Yeah.
How much does a mule deer weigh?
Oh, I don't know, 250. The ones that we got, and that's considered pretty big. I mean, that's been fairly heavy. I mean, I took two of us to drag ours back.
130 and 280. Dude, elk is the best meat, though, man. Honestly, like the best meat I've ever eaten is elk. Except for those meatballs that I got for Angry that one time.
Fuck you.
Were they testicles?
No, Angry was in Denver for like a 15-hour layover or some bullshit because he bought a plane ticket and had a layover. Anyway, I picked him up and we hung out and we went here and there and I, showed him a couple of things and we went and shot some guns and then we came back and we're like, hey, let's get some food. And I knew a bar where you could get a beer and a burger. And their burgers are pretty good and their beers are pretty good. Like, okay. Well, Angry saw elk meatball sandwich and decided that's what he wanted. But God knows how long that elk was dead for before they made it into a meatball sandwich.
Ooh.
Apparently a long-ass time.
Apparently long enough.
Last
you get
year.
sick or what?
Oh, yeah. For like an entire week, I was sick.
Oh.
Like, it was really bad for like the couple hours afterwards.
Ooh,
and then after about 12 hours, it was just kind of... The rest of the week was more just like I was off. Like I just felt off.
Probably because you were dying.
Yeah, probably.
That's like so straight up like whole botulism or something, dude. Holy crap.
So Daniel said the guy was working as a mechanic with it in his mouth. Did his family get to sue Olight over that, I wonder? Or the battery company or something?
Oh, yeah. There'd be some civil settlement on something like that. Because I don't think there's anywhere you shouldn't have to worry about that no matter where you put it. I mean, yeah.
So there's a field dressing video, which I don't think we should show on a live chat.
So
there's some good old ones on YouTube that really give you a lot of good tips so you don't have to worry about nicking intestines and stuff like that.
If you are going to go hunting, I will get you a knife.
Yeah.
About that, Honda. Free knife.
For real, if you want to hunt in Minnesota, we would welcome you and guide you. Only qualifications are must be able to drink a lot, check. Still be able to get up at dawn with help and coffee, check. And put up with a racist old lady between stand time. Sure, check. I'm assuming she's a racist against people who look not like me. Otherwise, that would be pretty uncomfortable. She just hates white people. So, like,
I hate white people.
It's white people.
Goddamn white people. You
Show up, sit down, shut up, cracker. Let me explain the rules. You're like, damn.
Gun Library Garrett says, I only play to win so I can reject the lower.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, Gun Library Garrett was the recipient of the Moist Nugget.
Oh.
Yeah, he got a Mosin Nagant.
Nice.
That was the first gun gift. Dude, that was the one I spent money on. Because I fucked it up, and then I had to spend money to unfuck it. So... Anyway.
Is that one of the ones that... Did Matt work on that one for you, or what?
Yeah, I sent it to Matt so that he could do a video of, like, here's how bad Honda is at gunsmithing video, right? And then I bought a Boyd stock and a long eye relief mount and a pistol scope and like this and that for it, and send it all out to him, and he put it all together. It actually turned out really nice.
Cool. I think I probably watched that one a while ago, or you showed it off, one of the two.
Yeah, it was like a year, a little bit more ago, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly. Something like that. Savage says, that video is from Randy Newberg. He mostly goes for elk, but that particular one is whitetail. Great resource for you, in my opinion. Cool, man. I appreciate it. I do. Yeah, I really would like to get into it, because how awesome would it be to get a fucking elk and then drag it back to the RAV4 and bring it back to Denver and fucking fill up my fucking freezer with elk meat in the middle of Denver. I'd be the only one. Like, everyone else would be like, what in the hell is he doing? But like with like a ghetto accent.
Dude, elk are pretty popular in Colorado, though, aren't they? I mean,
yeah, in the mountains, but
yeah.
Folk don't know anything,
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Just drag it upstairs. Boom, 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 boom. Awesome.
No, wait, man. There's an elevator. I'm going to take an elk on the elevator.
There you go. Put a tarp in there and like tape it up,
Yeah, I'll just leave a blood trail, like.
Pretty much. God, when we got ours back to the truck many years ago, my buddy got one, and it was at the end of the property line, so we had to drive it back like a mile. It was horrible. And we ended up taking it to the deer to the car wash. And after we had gutted it, before we took it, obviously, out in the field, and then brought it back, and then it was really cold out, so it was already starting to freeze and get cold. Yeah, we took the deer to the car wash and sprayed it off and sprayed it out because it was so dirty from getting it dragging across the prairie. Oh, man, it was terrible. We had brought no carts with us. We had no sleds, no ATVs.
Yeah, that's the other thing that you would... Like, if you're going for a fucking elk, I would think you need something, dude. You're not going to be able to just drag that motherfucker out by the antlers.
Well, you might. I mean, I know some people quarter them out in the field, and there's just certain parts you have to bring back for checking it in. So
that's why you carry a hatchet. You just break it up. I mean, like, even when you look at ancient man, when they killed things, you'll see a lot of carcasses where, like, they took the limbs off, they ate the rest of the body there in place by a fire or something for a couple of days, and then left the rest for the wolves and carried off the legs. How ancient man did it.
Like, chicken legs are the best part of the chicken. Are elk legs the best part of the elk?
No, that's a backstrap. That's where steaks come from.
Steaks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my buddy's dad used to hunt back in the day before I was old enough, or, like, all that shit. And I moved out of the house when I was 15 years old, right? Like, I don't know if everybody out there knows that. I've been living on my own since I was 15. Back then, I was, like, hanging out with my buddy and paying for my own food and doing shit like that at, like, 15, 16 years old. And he just gave me, like, 10 pounds of ground elk meat because I didn't have any food at home. He's like, here, you can, hamburger helper, make it into burgers or whatever you want to do. And, oh, my God, dude. Ever since that day, I was like, elk is my favorite meat. Maybe it was because I was, like, really hungry when I was eating it, too. That might have been it, too. Savage says, city folk don't know anything. Truest thing said on this chat. Also, that method of field dressing is for packing out when you can't drag it. Okay, perfect. Again, what we were talking about. I would still like to buy an ATV, though, like a fucking quad.
I think in today's era, like either that or a motorcycle, like a dirt bike, is like the modern horse, because you can pretty much take one of the two of those anywhere. Now, the only advantage I see for the dirt bike is that you could like tie it to the side of a car, whereas you'd probably need a trailer for a quad.
Yeah. I was actually looking at trailer hitch mounts for small dirt bikes that you could put on the back of a RAV4.
That'd be cool. I want that new RAV4 hybrid.
What's that?
I want the new Toyota RAV4 hybrid. The thing looks bitchin'.
My brother-in-law has one. It's actually fucking... Like, those are not cheap. But they fucking move, man. They've got... like, mine's just the regular four-banger, like, old school... Not even that old school. It's like 2015, you know?
Yeah.
And his is a 2021 or 2020. I forget. He's got either the brand new one or a brand new one. And that thing passes mine without even trying, because it's got the same motor as mine does. Plus, it's got electric motors on two of the wheels. So when you, like, floor that motherfucker, like, all the motors kick in. Like, it's fast.
Well, electric motors just give instant torque.
That's cool.
Yeah, and he lives up in the mountains, so, like, that's his, like, mountain mobile, you know?
Well, basically, what I see when I see the new RAV4 hybrid is the replacement for my FJ, because it's what I really would like to keep driving, but I don't have enough money for gas anymore. And it's looking like the gas situation's only getting worse, so why not trade up and get something good?
J Bean already got a hold of me, and he's already got his pawn shop and everything, license number, like everything set to me. It's like waiting on you now, Honda. Awesome. That's cool, man. I will send that out probably next time I head to the gun store. It should be this week some point. I don't know when Royal Tiger is going to send out my fucking Lee Enfield. That might be like a week or two still, I bet, to be honest. I don't know. For like a company that does stuff like they do, you would think that they would have a better method of like sending out guns quickly and receiving information from FFLs that doesn't require the customer to be involved and all that shit. You know, like that's the old school way to do it.
Well, Royal Tiger Imports is an old school company.
Which is cool. I mean, I got a fucking hell of a deal, I think, on that Enfield. As long as it doesn't show up like fucked. In which case, I'll just send it back to him and get my money back.
I'm pretty serious. You could use that as a hunting rifle. Taking more game, more continents than probably anything else.
I could also use the Carcano.
Yeah, but then you'd be using a Carcano.
I'm just like, imagine Kennedy on every deer. Oh, who dropped that?
Honda.
I can get a cow quarter online for 600-ish, 200-ish pounds, easier than hunting.
I can get you a whole cow for free if you want. But, you know, it's called rustling.
So a quarter of a cow is 200 pounds of meat?
Pretty easy, yeah. Most cows are about 600 to 800 pounds.
There's 800 pounds of meat on a cow? Holy fuck, dude.
Yeah. Depends on the species of cow or whatever, but yeah.
Well, I figured by the time you, like, skin them and gut them and get all the fucking, like, giant layer of fat off of the outside of them, that's pretty much inedible, you know? Like, there wouldn't be that much left, but I guess I'm wrong.
That's why cows are the main meat thing for us, and they have been for fucking 10,000 years.
Cows are fucking awesome.
They are. They're pretty bitchin'. They're super easy to kill, and they trust you enough when they're alive to just walk in herds with you.
Okay, so I've been watching this other dude on YouTube. Hold on, let me find him. He does he works on cows, and what he does is like their hooves get all fucked up on the bottom, so he like grinds them down with an angle grinder and like does some shit and sprays medicine on them and digs them down till the pus comes out if they have a real problem. Oh my god, it's crazy. But he's got this contraption that the cows walk into, and it traps them inside of it, and then it like lifts a leg up at a time and brings it to the like easy position for him to work on. And I don't know, it's weird.
The cow whisperer. Hey, you guys were talking about cars. I know, let's see, Angry, you guys were talking about this on Matt's chat. When the Ford Maverick comes out, that's going to be huge. Once they start selling those.
What are those?
The Maverick is going to be the compact pickup that they're going to make now. It's going to be smaller than the Ranger. They're doing two versions. Well, there's different trim levels. You get a front-wheel drive hybrid that gets 40 miles to the gallon. It's going to start at $19,995. And then they're also doing it with all-wheel drive, and you get two different engine choices. And they can tow up to 4,000 pounds.
How much did you say these are?
They start at 20.
Okay. I might actually look into this.
I was looking at an XLT with all-wheel drive and a 2-liter EcoBoost, and I think it was going to be 26 or 27. I think the max you could probably get on one is probably 35 or 36, which is
what was it called again?
The Ford Maverick.
The only thing about them is they don't have like it's a pickup truck, but they don't have the towing capacity.
No, they do. They tow 4,000 pounds if you get the 4,000 pound package on. That's more. The only thing, I mean, that's a pretty decent amount of weight. I mean, like the Hyundai Santa Cruz is tow 5,000, and then if you want anything more than that, then you got to go spend, entry level 4-wheel drive Silverado is what 36, 38, and that doesn't have the extended cab.
I kind of like the look of this thing. I might buy one of these.
I mean, I don't know if I'd get the front-wheel drive. I'd probably want the all-wheel drive just because of the weather we get out here. And even then, I'd be happy with just the well, I think if you go all-wheel drive, I think you have to get the turbo, if I'm not mistaken, the 2-liter EcoBoost.
Which means you're spending more money.
How much is all?
Yeah, they're mid-20s for gas mileage, but that's still better than a full-size pickup.
Oh, I would go for the one with the best gas mileage, which is probably the cheapest one, right?
Yeah, the front-wheel drive.
The 2-wheel drive, yeah.
You're going to get 40.
Drive, like how often do I use my 4-wheel drive in Oklahoma? Almost never.
Josh Taylor says the deer went back and to the left. Back and to the left. Back and to the left. You don't get the fucking... You don't get it, fuck you. Daniel says that's 200 pounds of everything, steaks to ground beef. Do you get the front quarter or the back quarter?
I was just talking, didn't even realize I was fucking muted that entire conversation.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about the Maverick, Angry?
I don't like it.
Really?
It's not a real truck. It's a fucking unibody chassis.
That's what I want, though. I don't want a real truck. This looks like perfect.
I mean, the thing is, you got to look at the market they're going to be shooting for. They're shooting for people that are. I'm thinking of like the handyman when I was a kid that drove Rangers. The little 5-speed 4-bangers.
If you're like, if you're someone in like the city that needs a truck for whatever reason, because like you have, I don't know, landscaping or like you're a handyman or something. Yeah, it's perfect. But the thing is, like, Ford. Granted, they've had hybrid technology for a little bit, right? I thought the all-wheel drive did come with a hybrid option as well, but I could be wrong on that.
No, I think you have to be the EcoBoost if you want the all-wheel drive. Yeah.
And the problem with the EcoBoost is Ford's not known for having their turbos last very long. They haven't been able to fix that issue for whatever.
What's it called? Maverick?
Yeah, the Maverick.
Angry, would the base model have that issue of the turbo going out, or are you talking about the all-wheel drive one?
I don't think the base model has a turbo engine connected to it.
It's a 2-liter or 2.5, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a naturally aspirated motor, so you wouldn't have that issue. But if you're gonna go,
the thing is, though,
if you're gonna spend here's my mentality. If you're gonna spend mid-20s on a hybrid that's front-wheel drive only, like there's no point. Like for that same
mid-20s, you get for 20.
Oh, okay.
Well,
so
minus
20,
delivery. I mean,
it's saying MSRP is $20,000.
Yeah. Which
I'm building one right now.
Here's the other issue though. It's a brand new fucking vehicle in the market right now. Even though they say it's going to be 20, it's not going to be 20. Because if there's a demand for it, it's not going to be 20.
Yeah, they're going to be sold out for. I mean, the first year is already done. They've already been claimed because of the reservations on them and stuff. But I mean, the thing is, the drivetrain and a lot of the components come out of the Escape. And I mean, my dad and my stepmom both have Escapes. My dad had about 120,000 miles on his before he traded it off on a newer one. And he had no issues with the engine or transmission. He had the EcoBoost turbo in his also. He had a 2015. Now he's got a 2019. My stepmom's got like 70 or 80,000 miles on hers. But, I mean, the engine's been around for a while. I mean, I don't know. When I got my Kona, I decided not to go with the turbo just because I wanted – reliability, and I didn't want something that was going to be real temperamental, down the road.
Yeah.
But I discovered my engine's also on the recall list, so I guess I didn't really score good on that one, but because of the cylinder walls and stuff,
Okay, so if this has basically an extra full-size spare tire, and there was another thing that I got. What was it?
Did you go with all-wheel drive or front-wheel drive on that?
This is the cheapest version. But it's got a bed liner and a bed extender so that you can put longer things in it. I think both of those things are useful. And a full-size spare tire. That's also useful.
I agree.
Everything else, maybe. I don't know.
They got some cool stuff like power hookups in the back and stuff, and then like some modular bed options and things like that. I mean, here's the thing, though. If I wanted to go buy a truck, say I want to go buy a Silverado, right? For $22,155, that would get me probably a 2015 with 80 or 90,000 miles on it if I'm lucky. I mean, I was looking at new ones, and an entry level non-4-door, just a standard cab, is 36. If you want it,
a Silverado,
that's not even with a V8 in it. That's with either the 4-cylinder turbo that they make or the V6. Because I did a pricing on one of those. And I mean, what I really want to get is a Silverado Trail Boss, but I'm looking at about 45,000 if I go that route.
Dude, I used to drive a Silverado for a work truck, and I fucking loved that thing, dude. That thing was fucking like you could take it anywhere. But I never had a truck before that, so it was like comparing that to like a Toyota Camry, like.
And so, Angry, here's the thing, though. I mean, I look at that and thinking, okay, I'd love to have it, but it's also about $10,000 more than a Maverick, and it's going to get half the gas mileage, So you just got to figure out what you want to do with it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, if you're someone that wants a truck because they want a status symbol of a truck, but all you really need is a car, then the Maverick's fine. But if you're someone that actually needs a truck or the capabilities of a truck, then it's worth the extra money.
Here's the thing, Colorado. To me, it's not about towing capacity with a truck. It's about having a big enough volume to put things in. So, like, I think that's going to be a lot of people who would want this. Is they're going to be wanting like the ability to move themselves versus hiring a moving company, which you could definitely do with this.
So, problem with that Colorado is once you put a couple options on it, you're already pushing 30. Because I was playing around the Colorados too, and it's like.
No, I'm at 35 right now for a 2-wheel drive, but I wanted the 4-door version.
Yeah.
I don't want the 2-door extended cab. That's like, nah.
I mean, Squiblow's got one. He loves his. He went ahead and got the one that has the diesel engine with it.
Well, I'd want the V6.
Yeah.
Because you don't want a 4-cylinder.
No.
And you want the 4-wheel drive because...
Yeah, I'd definitely go that route. Yeah.
So we're already at 33 now. Like, Jesus.
Yeah. I kind of like the Santa Cruz too. Those are cool, but those are just as expensive. I mean, they start around 23 for front wheel drive, and then by the time you option it out and stuff, you're looking at 35 to 40 and thinking, okay, that's basically full size pickup truck territory,
Yep.
That's probably what I'm going to end up doing anyway, unless gas prices are like $5 a gallon. So I don't want to mess with that. I'm currently getting about 30 in my car. I'm happy with that.
So yeah, like that's the no frills, no options, 4-wheel drive, 6-cylinder, 4-door version is $33,000. That's not cheap.
$3,000 more.
You guys remember those like fucking little tiny like you could fit 3 people in the front seat trucks, and there was no back seat, and it was 2-wheel drive, and like you could tow stuff with it, but not much, and you could load it up with crap and do painting jobs and stuff. What were those called?
Yeah,
Chevys, weren't they?
Well, every truck, everyone had one. Ford had one, Chevy had one, Toyota had one.
Why don't they still have them?
Because
they're making a comeback now. They're starting to because pickup trucks have gotten so expensive that if they want to go after another market,
it's not even that. It's trucks used to be the working man's vehicle, right? Like the only people you ever saw really using trucks were the people on like construction sites and shit. So you didn't need a lot of space inside your vehicle. But now trucks have become such a status symbol that they're not doing single cabs because people want to bring their fucking 4 kids with them everywhere.
All those shit to T-ball practice.
Yeah, or like load up the dogs and shit. And they're not really necessarily using it for truck stuff. So the single cabs have gone out of style. Like the demand just wasn't there. So a lot of companies, they still offer it, but you're not going to see it on the showroom. Like you have to beg and plead to get a standard single cab rear wheel drive only. Like, and most of that
go
stuff.
To
now
car
your
gurus. Yeah.
Like most of your base level trucks now don't offer it in that anymore because just the market's not there. The people that want the single cab rear wheel drive only trucks are the guys that are like hauling big shit for like construction companies and stuff. So you're going up to like your 2500s or your 250s or your 3500s or 350s. Like you're getting up to your bigger trucks now, which are then you're paying more because it's a larger truck.
Yeah.
Got space rocks with holes drilled in them. Found on Mars. That's weird. Look at that.
So is that picture legit, or is that photoshopped, or do we know that's
I don't know. This is from some guy that does stuff. I don't know who that is, actually. It's probably fake. The Santa Cruz is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I like those.
Is that Hyundai?
Yeah, that's their little, they call it a sport activity vehicle. It's basically like, was it the Tucson with like a pickup bed on the back of it? They're pretty cool. I've been watching those for years.
It is interesting. Like part of me is kind of pissed off that Hyundai is the one that came back out with that concept.
I wish they would have based it more on the concept vehicle, the 2015 model. That thing was sweet. Yeah.
Because like Subaru had back in the day, remember they had the Outback Sport, which had the
Baja.
Or the Baja, yeah, that's what it was, the Baja.
Oh yeah.
And it was based off the Outback, but yeah, it was the Baja. Like that was cool because it kind of brought back like that El Camino type vibe.
But look at that, dude.
Cut back on the price, dude. No, go SEL. Go SEL. You do SEL with all-wheel drive in the base engine. It's like 32, I think, and you still get. The thing is, the SEL, the Hyundais, it comes with a ton of stuff on the trim. Like I got an SEL Plus Kona. I got heated seats. And they're not leather. I've got sunroof. I've got satellite radio, heated mirrors, backup cam, all the sensors. I mean, it's got everything in it. And I only paid $25 for my car, I think. I mean, it was actually less because it had rebates and stuff on it.
What the hell is this thing? The Venue?
That's based off the Hyundai. I think it's based off the Accent platform. It's their small subcompact.
Yeah, it looks like a mini
Kona. It's really not a bad vehicle. I mean, they're not super powerful, but if you want a new car that's cheap, I guess, dude, they got killer warranties on them too. I mean, they got great warranties on their vehicles.
Dude, if I was gonna get something like that, I'd get a Yaris.
Yeah, well, this has got a 560 bumper to bumper 10100 powertrain, and then 3 years of roadside assistance and all that stuff. So,
because like a Yaris hatchback, like these things actually have a surprising amount of space on the inside.
Oh yeah,
nobody wants them because it's like a Toyota Yaris. Like the resale, if you get a used Yaris, like you can get them for fucking super cheap. Plus, they got the Toyota motor in them, so they run forever.
Well, everybody either goes for like a Corolla or goes for a Camry, basically.
Right,
you know?
Right, exactly. Yeah, like a Camry resale is going to be a lot higher than a Yaris resale.
Thing is, dude, I'll tell you what, man, the Toyota lot out here, the Honda lot, they have like no cars in stock at all. There's like maybe a dozen vehicles sitting on the lot because of production issues. So it's pretty bad out here right now. The Lexus dealer was basically empty for a while there. And they got more non-Lexus vehicles on their freaking lot than they do regular Lexus vehicles.
Might be a good time to like trade down in a car because you could extract more money out of your used car.
That's what I'm doing.
Here's a funny story I'll tell you guys real quick. My friends came up here and visited a couple weeks ago, and they They got a 2018 Chrysler Pacifica. They paid $28,000 for it. They traded up on a brand new 2021, like an S trim model Pacifica, and it was $48,000. Okay, but that doesn't matter. They got $25,000 for their trade. They paid $28,000. Their vehicle was 3 years old and had 40,000 miles on it. The sticker on it was $28,000. Okay, the dealer here in Lincoln turned around and was advertising it for $32,500, just to show you how bad it is with used car prices right now. So they were actually $3,000 over the sticker price on a vehicle that was 3 years old.
One of the guys, and I was just talking to one of the guys this morning at our Cars and Coffee. He bought I forget how BMW breaks down their different segment years after like E46, but he bought one of the like newer M3s like back in 2017. He can sell that car now, and like he didn't make extra payments, right? Like he just made the standard payment on it every month. He can sell that car now for about $20,000 more than what he paid for it.
Oh my God.
Is that true about higher end cars too? Like, for instance, like my brother has an R8 that he spent a ridiculous amount of money on because of the specific features and trim and everything on it.
Oh yeah.
Do cars like that, do they go up like 25?
Oh yeah.
They have cycles, but yeah, typically, I mean, they'll have like, it depends. Like they'll have some depreciation for a while, but then they pick back up in collector value.
It depends. It depends on the vehicle, but like right now, if he was trying to flip that, now would be a good time, because anything like that, like an R8, as long as it's been well maintained and doesn't have a shit ton of miles thrown on it, he'll be able to probably get more out of it than maybe what he bought for it.
And so I'll tell you right now, you cannot go off of the Kelley Blue Book stuff or NADA, because nothing is following those prices. Like for a bank loan, but that's it. So
no, man, like CarMax apparently pays more than anybody. So like,
they offered to buy my Kona back from me. Well, I bought mine from the Hyundai dealer, but they offered me basically exactly what I paid for it almost 2 years ago, and I've got 15,000 miles on it. So
look at the price on these, dude.
I don't think you really lose that 40% or 30% after the first year like you used to. Not now, at least. Yeah.
Well, my car is worth more now than what I paid for it.
Yeah.
It's that FJ Cruiser, and those things are going nuts.
Dude. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's that. Yeah. Yeah, you could put that thing on like Bring a Trailer or one of those other places, and especially if you're just not seeing them for sale right now. I mean, there's just a demand for those things. Everything's picking up in price right now. Now it's a lot of the original cars from like the 80s and early 90s that are starting to break the bank too. Yeah.
Yep, and the mid to late 90s stuff is going to hit real hard within the next 5-10 years.
And what's sad, dude, it's going to be something like a low mileage Grand Prix GT. People are going to go nuts over, pay like $25,000 for it. Where when I was in college, you'd give like $4,000 for
when I was in hhigh school, I remember like you could find Civics, Cavaliers, like no one wanted a Ford Taurus. Like I remember I found a Ford Taurus SHO, like a 96 for like, I think the guy wanted $1,200 for it. And my dad's like, no, you're not buying that. And I was like, oh, that'd be a cool car, I guess. But like, oh, I get the point. It's just a Ford. Like, I guarantee you that's a $7,000-$8,000 car now.
Oh yeah.
Like, you're gonna see. I mean, you've already seen it with the Supras and like a bunch of the Japanese stuff. But even your smaller stuff, like your Plymouth Lasers, your early Dodge Neons, for whatever fucking reason, are gonna go up in price.
Honda, go over to bringatrailer.com.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna make you cry when you see those prices.
Your GSX Eclipses, like those are gonna shoot through the roof.
Oh God, yes. There you go. This is like where all the cars from the 80s and 90s are showing up. So people that have too much money, I mean, this is driving up the prices of used cars like crazy. So they have everything. You see everything on here. Like you might see like a freaking, like, oh God, like those Blazers right now, dude. Those are insane.
Yep. Any of your square
old
body
80s SUVs. Yep.
Any of your square body trucks or SUVs are shooting up.
Wagoneer, Jeep Cherokee XJs have always been going up, but
I think honestly one of the big spikes soon is going to be your wagons, like your Buick Roadmasters, your Impala, or what was it?
Probably even like the Dodge Magnum wagon or whatever.
How much are they asking for this shit? Like I don't. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, the prices are underneath. Now, granted, almost everything on Bring a Trailer is like pristine edition. Like You're not going to find something with a shit ton of rust or like, oh, it has a couple fender benders or some dents in it. Like, you're not going to, like, these are all pristine cars, but still, like, the prices are ridiculous.
Go up to live auctions up on the top, and then you can see what people are actually bidding on right now. Like, you can see what cars are up there and stuff. You can see, like, what some of the little Honda Civics are going for and stuff. There you go. I mean, look at that. What is that brown car? Is that a Grand Prix? Or that old
Delta 88. $7,000 right now.
Dude, that'd be an $800 car 10 years ago, right? I mean, granted, these are going to be mint, but it's like, who's going to pay that? I remember they had a Chevy Citation on there that was like $12,000. I'm like, my grandma had one of those. It's not worth $12,000.
Why is this in here? 2018 Mustang Shelby. Okay.
Yeah, because you'll find new stuff. Because a Mustang Shelby right now, I guarantee.
Oh, I bet that's it. I bet you're right.
Yeah. You'll still find newer stuff on there.
God damn, dude. Okay, I had my XXXX girlfriend years ago inherited for free like a 1989 Wagoneer that was just like a piece of shit, dude. And if she'd just taken care of it, it'd still be worth $23,000 today. Like,
oh yeah, my dad's got my Jeep Cherokee. He's holding on to it. My blue XJ. He doesn't want to get rid of it.
Blazers. These are so cool.
What's that thing going for?
Current bid $79,000.
Oh my God. Yep. Now, Grant, that's probably been completely restored, but still, you know.
Yeah, it's insane the fucking prices of vehicles right now.
79 grand for a 72 Chevy. Jesus. Wow.
It's just kind of fun to browse that, and you see those cars like, oh, I remember that, and it's like, oh, not for that price.
Dude, I lost my shit the other day. Like, I was walking through my parking lot here at my complex, and like I see supercars and shit all the time because I'm going to Cars and Coffee, so I'm constantly seeing like $1 million and up cars, right? Some guy in my complex has a pristine, like 1992 Nissan Maxima with like a 5-speed in it, and I was like drooling over the thing. I'm like, this makes no sense. Like, I literally was just at a Cars and Coffee that has Lamborghinis, Paganis, Ferraris, and I'm like, yeah, these are cool, and I take pictures of them. But like this thing, I'm like walking around it, looking at it. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
Well, it's like looking at a museum piece, though. It's like you haven't seen one for 20 years, and to find one that's just unmolested.
Well, that's the thing. To find one that hasn't just rotted into the fucking ground. It's like, okay.
Dude, these things are
cars like that rolling around here.
These old Ferraris will always be cool to me.
Oh, that Lamborghini?
Lamborghini. Sorry, I said Ferrari.
They're cool. I mean, the problem is with those, and I run into it here. Like, everyone that buys one is like, I have a Ferrari now, and like they buy the jacket off eBay or whatever. And they're like, I have a Ferrari. I'm like, your Ferrari costs less than a fucking Corolla does now. Fuck off. Like, you're not special. Like, if you just want to be like, oh yeah, this is my car, and like I like it, cool. But they're not like that. They look at you, they're like, huh, your car is not a Ferrari. And it's like, my car's worth 2 of your cars that you bought off eBay for 15. Fuck off.
just watch like Hoovie's Garage or Tavares or any of those guys that buy those exotics, and then they end up dropping like $40,000 or $50,000 in them over, like a season of videos because their parts are insane and the repairs are just nuts. How many hours? Hell, even like Land Rovers and stuff are terrible. Not Land Cruisers, but Range Rovers. Like how much it takes to get to some of the parts, like a blower motor is like a $4,000 job. I mean, it's some of these cars. I'd never want to buy old BMWs. Once they hit like 120,000 miles, it's just a money pit because under the engines they just start falling apart basically. If you don't mind the expensive upkeep, they're great cars, but it's just the parts are expensive and they're a pain to fix. And oh yeah, Chrysler LeBaron. How much is that LeBaron convertible? Yeah, what's that up to now? Ooh, GTC.
$6,000.
Ooh, there you go.
My friend's dad had one of those. We used to ride in the back of it when I was a kid.
Yeah, dude.
You feel all fucking awesome because you were in a convertible, but then you forget that it's a fucking Chrysler when you're in it, But rolling down the street, you are not very wizard.
You're so wizard, Annie.
There you go.
We used to have a couple of these when I was a kid.
Little three-wheeler.
The Honda version though, but the three-wheelers that you flip fucking so easy. Oh my god, dude! I'm lucky to be alive.
My aunt recently bought a used ATV for her acreage. Man, we just have so much fun on that thing. We got a guy here in town that sells used ATVs. You can buy one for like $1,500, $2,000 will get you a nice old Suzuki or Kawasaki.
Old Audi.
Vintage Audis. Yeah.
That thing would be a pain to fix, though. Getting all the old parts for it and shit. If it's something breaks.
Well, if they carried over a lot of the parts and stuff, but
yeah.
I mean, honestly, to be honest with you, I'd probably just spend my money and buy a JDM car at this point if I was going to do anything.
Well, yeah, because that's what's hot right now.
Low miles, the prices aren't super crazy. Like some of their Hilux, their version of the 4Runners and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's the thing. Like right now, like if you wanted to buy something as like an investment car, that's a great way to move because that thing's just going to go up in value.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, JDM wise, like JDM stuff is just on the peak right now. A couple years ago, it was a bunch of, the old Porsches and European stuff. Years before that, like mid 2000s to early 2010s, there's all the American muscle cars and stuff like that. And obviously, some of that stuff still bleeds through, but the big stuff right now is the JDMs because
Skyline,
the kids that grew up seeing all those JDM cars are now adults with money, and they're like, I want this car for my youth. So yeah, it makes sense.
Well, I mean, the 25-year importation rule that makes it easy now.
And that too, yeah.
My brother-in-law had like basically this exact car, and I got to drive it once. It was pretty fun.
Once, I got to start it and drive it up in the driveway and give him the keys.
I got to take it up the hill. It was a nice windy road,
Oh, cool. Yeah, 911s are pretty expensive.
Like that.
All right, guys. We've been going about 2.5 hours.
Oh, man.
I did not get enough sleep last night. I'll tell you that right now. If you couldn't tell by this chat and my mannerisms being a little bit off, just slightly, but enough for me to want to call it off after 2.5 hours of sitting here. So don't hate me. Don't hate me.
Let's go bid on that Tacoma real quick. That's at 11,000. Yeah, that's good. I guarantee that sucker's going to go for probably 20.
Dude, Tacomas are fucking hot.
Yeah. Especially if it's got low miles on it and stuff. How many miles are on that?
Where does it say?
It's like 60,000. It'll be a $25,000 truck. I guarantee it.
Yeah, especially if it's in good shape.
I don't see where it says
that. Isn't that column on the right side?
Oh, there we go. I still don't see it.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty clean. I remember they had a guy that had on eBay, somebody had like an 01 Jeep Cherokee XJ that had like 15,000.
Oh, it says 51,000 miles. There we go.
See, that's the thing I have going for my FJ right now is it's only at 65,000 miles and it's like 10 years old.
Yeah.
Kind of wish I'd driven it more, but kind of glad I didn't. So.
You're actually
what?
You said your FJ Cruiser or what?
Yeah, my FJ's
super
low miles for what it is.
10 years from now, that's going to be a hot collectible because it'll be that much further out of production, and Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm making the right move selling it right now or not, but I can get top dollar for it. I'm pretty sure. And
you can, and it's only going to go up in price. It'll only go up in value because there's such a limited run.
Well, that and it's a TRD special edition too.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, if you can make some good cash off of it, but if you wouldn't mind holding on to it for like 10 years, it'll be a Barrett Jackson, collectible that'll show up on 10 years from now. But you got to sit on it and wait.
It's like the dudes who sold Bitcoin when it hit $100.
Yeah,
cashing out.
The thing is, I know that it's going to be worth more in the future, but in the immediate future, I can't afford to fix it unless to drive it. Can't afford to put gas in it, so.
Yeah, I mean, right now people are paying. If they want something, they'll pay anything for it. They don't care. I mean, it's just like houses right now too. In fact, people will pay over somebody's asking price without an inspection. It just means that there's just.
How would you sell that car?
What's that?
How would you sell my car?
I'd get it detailed and put it on Bring a Trailer.
It has some damage from an accident on it. That's part of the issue. So I don't know if that would be the place to do that. Or not.
As long as it doesn't have a salvage title, No,
it's just cosmetic.
You can look up cars on there and you can see the price history to see what they're going for, like what the asking price is per year. Because I had my little Civic hatchback that I ended up selling it locally, but I was looking at the prices on those. And how many miles are on it right now?
6,500.
6,500,
65,000. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, that's it'd be worth it to get the body work done on it, and then just you have to mention any accidents it's ever been in. And
I don't have the money to get the body work done, man.
Okay, as interesting as this conversation is, I'm going to go ahead and address this super chat and say good night to you, Mr. FNG Starman. Thank you for the tip. Sorry you missed the giveaway. I hope you guys all have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow night for the Gay Frog chat, and we'll see you all then. Peace out.
Bye, Felicia.